coronavirus. It's time for the Bennington Show, the only father-daughter radio show in the history of radio. And they're really moving back this Bond movie to reshoot it as Corona Royale. I'm Vito Calise, and I think James Bond is shagadelic, baby. It's Ron Bennington. Gail Bennington. The Bennington Show.
My mind is going through them changes. I feel just like committing a crime. Every time you see me going somewhere, I know I'm going out of my mind, yeah. Oh, my baby, she left me the other day, and we were having a lot of fun. Oh, she know I just love her so, and that's the reason why she had to run. So bad, you know what I mean? So bad, what I said.
Yeah, buddies, it's the Bennington Show, the only father-daughter radio show in the history of radio. I'm Gail Bennington.
I'm Ron Bennington, and I am one of the last white men standing looking to be the Democratic nominee.
Yeah.
I've got a shot.
But you're just too young is my worry.
I would be the kid out there. You know what I mean? I'd be the young buck, the rookie on the scene. Yeah, that's not her live, Gail.
Okay.
They're showing a bunch of stuff. Gail wants to see Warren when she goes out, and as they say, the hammer will fall.
Mm-hmm.
People are waiting to see. Is she going to pick one of those guys? Is she going to pick neither? Is she going to accuse Hunter Biden of being in another country and making money there?
Honestly, this morning I was thinking about what a weird system we have where someone drops out and then we go, who are you gonna endorse? You better give this person your endorsement. And they put all this pressure. It seems like it should be the reverse. It seems like at this point now, Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden should be saying, hey, let me appeal to you, the Warren supporter. Here's where she and I have things in common. Here's why you are welcome to join this crew.
That would be that's too much thinking.
It's crazy, right? Well, why would we just go, Warren, you're out. Who are you gonna pick? You better pick Bernie or else you're a bitch.
Here's what I would like to do. I would like to, when you're knocked out of the playoffs, you have to turn around and endorse one of the other teams. And you have to
right.
say, look, I'd like all the Dallas fans now to support the Redskins all the way to the Super Bowl. And then your fans would have to go along with that. Look, there's a cruise ship that they made everybody get checked out for the coronavirus.
Mm-hmm. So that's corona free?
Yeah.
Good.
Because somebody was once on a cruise ship, and look at the size of this cruise ship. It looks like it's just barely clearing the Golden Gate Bridge.
Too big.
I'm telling you, these things are like being in any government housing in Queens or Brooklyn, and you're just with those people the whole time.
Is it like college where everyone's also like just walking around in their flip-flops and their jammies at breakfast?
First of all, I think these people live that way.
Okay.
And the last thing I want to do is see a bunch of people first thing in the morning at a buffet. It's too gross for me.
Yeah.
I went to the Artiste Lounge.
Oh, nice.
Where Keith Robinson said, I want to be on menu because I want the good. Give me some of that good. Which I repeat it after that from now on. I started saying to the waitresses, can I get some of that good? And they're like, what? I go, give me the Keith paper.
Yeah.
I know what's happening.
Whatever that is, that's what I want.
Yeah. Consider me White Keith from this point on. Oh, this fucking virus. I got it now.
I know.
I have got to stop sleeping with immigrant Chinese women. I don't know what it is with me. I just love them.
Type, and you can't
Well, I
stop
love
it.
that I can't understand them at all.
Today on the train, and you see more and more masks. A lot of people just using scarves or even just tying up their hoodie over their mouth and nose, which is great. But today, I saw this chick and she had a black mask, and I was like,
That's
"Where
the
did
one.
you get that?"
Oh, look, go online. It's the one that they said that you have to get. It's the
Yeah.
Bane mask, and it's selling for big.
Oh man. Nobody cared about me until coronavirus.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, that's what she had. It
Yeah.
looks so cool.
Yeah, they're selling that, and they're selling just straight Bane.
Cool.
Just 100% Bane. It's $17,000. Well, they're now saying in New York, they're trying to say we want to find people who take the price of masks up above 10% of their usual price.
Mhm.
If you go up above that, you're basically a war criminal, a war
Yeah.
on virus criminal. I don't know how the rest of America, but I was at a place last night that was about half full.
Yeah.
Very famous restaurant,
Mm-hmm.
half full. And I said to the maitre d', I go, this is very strange. He goes, yeah, we had a lot of canceled reservations. And I go, what do you hope to do? And he goes, well, we hope you tip a lot more than you normally would because these people's lives are at stake.
Yeah.
I goes, at stake? We have a stake.
I'm getting seats on the train, which is exciting.
How about you, Chris? When you're coming in, is there more room?
There is more room and there's more masks for the people. The dwindling amount of people that are on. Actually, this morning there were a lot less people just on the street. It was really weird.
I was at the stand last night, and I was talking, and it was the second show, and it was light. I'm not gonna lie to you, and I'm doing my Corona stuff because I'm so fucking current. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm ripping from the headlines. It's amazing. And
Do you go up there with a newspaper folded up? Because I
Yeah.
think that would be cool too.
yeah. I don't know why you're so this way. But so I said to him, if this was a documentary, you would just see right next to me, like the things would come up. Day 6, 11 dead. Everyone got freaked. And, you know what I mean? We were all having fun, but that idea.
Seriously though, dude, that's so
like
funny.
if this was a movie,
Yeah.
where they day 6, you just see less and less everywhere.
Last night, I'm on the train with my baby, and she there are people wearing masks, and she and I are just eating peanut butter crackers.
Disgusting.
Like, not only do we not have masks, but we're literally consuming food right now.
I'll say this: there's nothing I like more than a peanut butter cracker. Like if
delicious.
somebody said
Serious.
you can only have one food for the rest of your life, I'd probably be peanut butter crackers.
Honestly, I think that was her first time having. I mean, she's had peanut butter, she's had a cracker, but
Yeah.
this was the first combo for her.
How I admire her right now.
And she was, and you know how she is, like, she sees a food she's not familiar with. She's like, what the fuck? No.
Yeah.
So it took her a second. Then she bit into it. And literally, like, she raised her eyebrows, like, what the hell? This is pretty good. She was very into it.
Yeah, she loves it. Why wouldn't she?
Yeah.
I gotta find this thing for you guys. Can anybody just plug the creeps, or we don't do that anymore? We haven't done it all
Please.
week.
Would love to plug the Creeps. The Creeps the Kids store with Bob Kelly, Rich Voss, Jim Florentine, and Ron Bennington is coming to the Turning Stone Resort Casino in Verona, New York on Friday, March 13th.
You know what? If you don't want to do it, you don't want to do it. You fucking say in April, there's a thing. If you're not into it,
I am.
I have no problem with it all. I got papers from Earl today of prizes we can give out.
Ugh. Another paper is my concern.
Yeah. Oh, you don't like all the paper?
No, there's too many. First of all, it's just confusing. But the amount of trees this show alone kills.
Yeah.
Makes
Go through
me
a lot of
feel
paper.
very bad. How often does Chris hand us a piece of paper with one sentence at
Yeah.
the top in
Oh,
bold?
often.
And I'm like, what am I going to do with this?
Gotta read. That's some information for you, gal.
I don't know who sets this screen up for me, but apparently they think I'm Kathleen Madigan and and I need to read my tweets at all time. Kathleen is going to be on our show tomorrow, and we love her.
Yes. I really love her. It's been a while since I've seen her.
Yeah, it has been a while. Well, you won't see her tomorrow either.
I know.
She's going to be, what's that called? She's in,
It's like an ISDN.
whatever it is.
IP Kodak.
That's how we're going to do
No,
it.
it's not IP Kodak. She's not at her house. She's
Yeah.
going to be in a studio.
Yeah.
But apparently that still is IP codec.
Why?
Yeah, I don't
She's
know.
in a thing like we're in.
Yeah, she's going to be in the actual. She'll be in a studio, but
They just call everything IP code.
essentially, yeah.
Then they need another
They need a
name.
name.
You know what I mean? You don't need a technical name for something.
That's how we're going to do all of our interviews from now on because we're in a Corona world.
We're going to announce an unmasked today.
Yes, we are.
Why wasn't this discussed pre-show?
It should have been.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said.
Where's my one single paper with it on it?
I have one for you right here.
No! I knew it was coming.
Just so you have it.
Thanks. I appreciate it. I'll put this with the 50 others.
I'm very excited about this. Hoagie Dom is coming in today, and
Woo!
I follow him. And we're going to bring some sandwiches from him in from Arthur Avenue. I believe the name of the place is Tino's.
Yes.
Tino's in Arthur Avenue. And our friend Hosp is bringing them in. So the thing is, I went and checked out their Yelp page.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a review on there, on this page, that amazed me. I'm going to see if I can find it. It's very difficult to find it. Nobody understands me when I ask for help. I mean, all these things are crazy. Am I going to announce the... Oh, we don't know because we're not hooked up with our social media, so I can't just announce
Oh, no,
before we get that. Oh, is that already up?
it's about to be up as soon as we announce.
Well, they're also looking for my Catholic... We're in a weird place today. The gang is in a weird fucking place.
There's a lot of balls in the air. Some of them are getting dropped. I feel it. But I do have all these papers.
Yes, we have a lot of papers.
I mean, I should be more than prepared for anything. I'd like to put these in a binder.
So let me just tell you about this place, Tino's. I go and check it out. And I read this review on Yelp. I maintain that these are some of the best sandwiches in the Bronx, says the old pro. And I've been at this sandwich eating game a long time, son. Yes, the old pro has met a mountain of them. So what? I'm referring to myself in the third person as the old pro now. It makes perfect sense. And I like self-given nicknames. All right, I'm just trying to get it out. Anyway, the sandwich part is true. These are a good BX spot for such. So, Kathleen from the Bronx. And
I love it.
7 years ago. This is 7 years old. They're still waving it around at the top of their Yelp page. That's how much they love the old pro.
So great.
So we're going to see if we can impress Hoagie Dom with that.
Yes.
I don't, I just want him to be honest, not try to be a nice guy.
Right.
I don't like a critic.
But you know
or
what?
a
If he's
reviewer who's a nice guy.
unimpressed, I'm more than happy to just be like, this is Hosp's fault. And
Sure.
you know what I mean? Like, I want him to like it, and I'll be there to be like, yes, this represents New York City. But if he doesn't, I'm like, yeah, the Bronx does stink.
Yeah,
right?
I don't even I put the Bronx lower in Staten Island. All right, I'm ready to announce the next Unmasked. I wish I had all the stuff that she's doing because I know that she's got a special coming out, and she also has a movie coming out. That could be it here in all this waste of paper.
Yeah, I would like that.
You know what I mean?
Well, or just another piece of paper. You know?
Yes, a third
If I
piece of
could get-
paper.
if I could get another piece.
I had to go pitch something the other day, right? And all the stuff came in on 3 different papers. I go, you can't hand these guys 3 papers. 3 loose papers is crazy. And then I had my 3 loose papers, and they gave me 2 copies of that. So I now have 6 papers.
They're
a lot of
really
paper.
obsessive with. It's not. I mean, it sounds like I'm complaining about the single papers.
You're not.
But there's like at least 10 copies of these somewhere in this room, and if not in the other room.
Well, like, and Earl brought it, and he said to me, he was singing to me, he was like, I'm a fool to do your busy work, fuck
Oh, yeah.
face. You just make me do your busy work, you dick.
I can't believe you called Ron that.
All right, her special, and I thought she had a different special, one where she went back to high school, but she's going to be on more funny women of a certain age on Showtime. And her special is going to be called My Way After School. And the movie is That's Amore, where it's a lot of funny stuff about Italian people. Tammy Pescatelli. They're finally doing something with Tammy Pescatelli.
We love Tammy.
My cold's getting really bad.
I know.
Or is this the corona?
I think it could be Corona.
I literally wouldn't have come in today, but I had to cut some stuff for GPS and all this weekend. And we didn't do it properly before, or today would have been a day off.
I know. Because you really are, everyone is advising, well, everyone but Trump, that you stay home if you are sick of anything, just because let's protect our immune systems right now.
Well, I did not take care of the short amount of work that was supposed to. I thought I had it done, but they're like, no, it's not pristine. It's not perfect. So I'm in here basically today, and I stay for the whole show for 8 minutes of work. The thing is, I never even bring this up. I'm 18 years older than Bernie Sanders.
What?
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you look great.
Just for my age.
Yeah.
No, I don't actually.
But
look
everyone
great.
looks great for their age.
Do you
When
think?
you say they look great.
I've seen some pictures of me at a young age, and I look like shit. I look like death. Earl, yesterday you got me tissues. Is that off the?
They should be to your left.
I've been thinking of calling
Oh.
you Tissue Dom.
Look at this. Look how many papers he gave me.
Oh my God, these are very thin papers.
They're very disposable papers.
Chris, we couldn't take care of that other thing in a timely fashion. I should be in the hospital right now. I think I'm bleeding out.
Oh, God.
I gotta stop being with Chinese immigrants. All right, Tammy Pescatelli, just go to our Twitter, and you can chance for free tickets. That's at Bennington Show on Twitter. At Bennington Show on Twitter. We love Tammy Pescatelli. She's like family to us.
She really is. I absolutely adore her. At Bennington Show on Twitter for a chance at free tickets to see The Unmasked with Tammy. I'll be there.
You're coming to that.
Yeah, I'm going to attend.
Well, I'll tell you this: if I'm alive, I'm going to be there.
Yeah, I hope
If I
then.
beat my way through this corona.
My Corona.
Weird Al said he would not record that song.
I was like, how many people have already done it?
Weird Al is he's got nothing but integrity. He goes, no,
Yeah,
this is
absolutely.
not the type of thing.
This isn't
King of
okay.
Suede, yes, I'll do that. Right now, you satisfied? You can plug this thing.
Thank you. Tammy Pescatelli,
The
Unmasked.
Crepes is what I was looking
Creeps
for.
with Kids. They're coming to the Turning Stone Resort Casino in Verona, New York next Friday, March 13th. Go to creepswithkidstour.com for tickets. Creepswithkidstour.com.
Man, I'm going to be there, and I don't understand even what you said. Where are we going to be?
The Turning Stone Resort Casino in Verona, New York,
And that's it?
right outside Syracuse. And then you'll be at the Gramercy Saturday, March 14th.
Gail's going to be at the Gramercy.
Yes.
Vito's going to be at the Gramercy. Chris Stanley's going to be at the Gramercy.
I'm going to be there singing.
I haven't heard from one person, though. Probably my best friend in the whole world, Earl Douglas.
I will be there.
Oh!
Took the night off. I will be there to support my brother Ron Bennington.
Oh, my brother. I love that.
Oh, that's really sweet.
I'll be supporting my daddy, Ron Bennington.
Oh, that's sexy.
Weird.
That's sexy.
Not even I say that.
No, well, you can't. Legally, you can't. You,
By the way, that was okay. Remember when we were talking about Earl talking on the show
yeah.
when you were away? I just had a memory. That was when I first referenced him, is we were like, Earl, what are you going to do? And I think you went to say something and maybe you didn't say something. But I was trying to remember. I was like, I know I went to him something that first day. When people were like, is he there or is he not there? That was the thing. Will Earl be at the Gramercy show?
Yeah,
And he
Earl's
is.
going to be there.
Yeah.
What are you going to do, Earl? Are you going to spin plates?
Oh, that'd be cool.
Why don't you box anybody from the fucking...
Wow.
Do it all.
Last night, very late night, after midnight, I'm down at the stand. They had done the TV taping earlier. Hey, did you notice this in the news this week, this coronavirus thing? And I run into a young lady we haven't seen in some time, Lisa Traeger.
Oh, nice.
And I'm like, why didn't you come by? She goes, I'm in and out of New York. I had to pitch something to the HBO gang. And then she said, can I see some pictures of Juju?
Oh.
So I'm standing on the steps showing her pictures of Juju, and she just loved her.
That is so sweet. I miss her so much.
Yeah, I know.
I really hate when we lose comics to the West.
And she lives 5 minutes from the Sirius offices out there. If you went to do the show with me from L.A. at Sirius, everyone that you know that lives in L.A., you can throw a rock from our studio. They all
That's
live in
cool.
West Hollywood because that's where the clubs are.
Yeah.
Then she explained to me, look, that's just comedy. She's yelling at me now when I say everybody lives close to it. She goes, yeah, but most of my friends are on the east side. They're just not in the club business. She goes, I hang out with more than just comics. I have a lot of friends in it. So I didn't say you did.
She does have real friends. I noticed that. Like some comics, if you follow them on Instagram, their life is just their, comedy and then their comedian friends. She has like real friends, like real human friends that she like does things with.
I don't have a single friend who doesn't have a podcast.
Wow, that's interesting.
Everyone I know has a podcast. You want to do my podcast? Who listens to it? I don't know. I don't know who listens to my podcast.
My friends, some of my other friends.
Ron, what's your biggest fear? You afraid of anything? What would you, if you went to heaven, what's the first thing you'd like God to say to you? Would you feared? Are you feared to death of that? What's the ethnic group that you dislike the most?
Don't answer.
Oh, I have an answer, and I'm very happy with it. The Danes. Oh, they're filthy people. Filthy people. God, I feel like all my clothes, everything is covered in Corona right now.
I know. I feel that too.
You know what I feel bad about? My first beer was a Corona.
Mm-hmm.
No, it definitely wasn't. It was a Schmitz, not even a Schlitz. Joe Schmitz.
Oh.
Schmitz. It was a local brewery in, I think you get $4 cases or something.
I wish I could remember my first beer. I remember my first alcoholic beverage. Ugh. But I don't remember what the first taste of beer is.
It takes a while to really get used to beer.
Yeah.
Did you find Schmitz?
I found Schmitz.
Look at that old schoolness.
That's
of
so
it.
Jacob
cool.
Schmidt.
I mean, honestly, it's so unrecognizable as a beer can that looks like a soup can to me. Like it doesn't even like that looks like a more modern, the one that you just pulled up, but those other ones, those look like soup to me.
I wish they still sold beer in cans like that. It kind of feel like I missed out on something.
Yeah, you
Those
did.
big oil cans.
Yeah,
that
where you
had
peel
to
off.
Have to have a church key.
Yeah.
I remember when I was in Canada, this is, a million years ago, that there was a thing they didn't have twist-offs at that time, nor did they have the things. It was like so the kids would wear a bottle opener around their necks. Like it was where you just see it
Cool.
at any time. They would always just have a bottle opener.
And then
tied
you're
to a
always
piece of-
ready to party.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Well, I remember when I was younger, I used to go out with a mug through my belt loop, like it was a six. I'm like, Mom, I'm heading out. You got your mug? Yeah. Got my mug right here. You got to be home tonight or tomorrow night or Sunday. Let's just say Sunday, but you might see me before that. Okay, well, if you're back, I put some lasagna in the freezer. You can just take it out, thaw it. You can either heat it up in the oven. You even put it in the microwave. I know you don't like to put it in the microwave. Here, take some of these Reese cups for your pocket. want to get a good,
Thoughtful.
yeah, you want to get a good chocolate and peanut butter base on your stomach before you start drinking. No, he's gone out to a keg with his friends. Yeah. No, his ninth grade friends.
Yeah, can you remember though when you were like young enough to taste beer the first time? How harsh the flavor
it's
seems.
not easy.
No.
It's
You're
not an
just
easy
like-
thing to get used to.
I remember the first beer I tasted, it was my dad's. And I remember the first thing I got drunk on. The first thing I tasted was Meisterbrow. He was a Meisterbrow man.
Here's the thing: when you took that taste, did he laugh?
He
When you
laughed.
Saw the
I was
look
like,
on your
this
face.
is
They
disgusting.
all
Yeah.
men love to do that. They love to laugh.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to drink of this, do you? All right. Take a good old slug off of it then.
There was just cans
cool.
and cans of Meisterbrow in the house.
I don't even know if Meisterbrow was really a German beer.
It could have been.
Because, I mean, look
Yeah.
at the whole thing. It seemed, but I remember
stereotype.
Meisterbrow.
It's very pandering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first thing I got drunk on was Bud Ice, which I don't think they sell anymore.
Yeah. I don't think so.
It went the way of Bud Dry. Just no one wanted it.
I also, me and my friends would drink quarts of beer because it was much cheaper.
Yeah.
And this sounds disgusting because it is. We would each, and this is like middle school age, we'd get a quart of beer and a bottle of wine. It'd be like a Boone's Farm wine
Yeah.
and a quart of beer. Now you have to remember, so we each had our own. Whatever you drank first, the second one's going to come in a lot warmer.
Yeah.
But we would get fucked up on that.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
There was a kind of a bum wine in the same place the Boone's Farm is Cisco fortified wine, which really made you black
More
out
so
terribly.
the first time I tried wine, I was more shocked that it was popular than beer. Like beer, I was like, this tastes weird. Like it was more like peanutty, potatoey, more anything like, you know what I mean?
Do you
That
remember
grainy.
what kind of wine was it?
I don't remember. It was a red wine, and it was like it was a very full-bodied mint. You know what I mean? Whatever it wasn't like a sweet wine.
So did you buy it or steal it?
I took it from a friend's parent who had it out, and I was like, "How does one keep this
Yeah.
in their mouth?" Like
Yeah.
that, I was like,
I never
this
drank
is
that
insane.
kind of wine when I was in middle. You know what I mean? My
Yeah.
shit was strawberry.
Sweet
Once,
wine.
Yeah.
once we started to realize that existed, yes, that
Yeah.
was very palatable. But yeah, the first time I tasted wine was like an adult wine, and I was like, "This is horrific."
Now Chris is right about the bum wine taste. Look how different the Boone's Farm look is now too.
Yeah,
But look, there's Sunshine Pink and Blue Hawaii.
that looks delicious right now.
Strawberry
I mean,
Hill.
I'm not gonna lie.
Strawberry Hill was an original for them. That was, the one because you're a little kid. You're like, give me the strawberry.
Yeah.
I have a strawberry wine. And but there was a bum wine, and its name was MD 2020 or Mad Dog
Yeah, oh, yeah.
2020, and it was very thick, and you would get fucked up on it.
Yeah.
Blasted. Real bad.
Hey, Ralph in Queens.
Yeah, guys, how you doing? My first beer was a Carling Black Label. The can was so thick, we sometimes had to use screwdrivers to punch a hole in it.
Oh, I remember people just trying to open it up like it was oil like that. But here was the song, Mabel, Black Label. That's all I really remember out of it. Look at that
Wow.
old fucking can.
That really is like a paint can.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, that looks great.
I mean, it just looks like a biker would
Yeah.
be the only person that would enjoy Carling Black Label. And there was a tennis player back in the 80s. She was a young girl. She was only like about 15. And her name was something Carling, and she was heir to this family's
Oh, really?
product. Yeah, either that was her first name or her second name, but she was for a very Carling. For a very short period, she was the it girl. When that used Carling Bassett, that's exactly right, and she was named after that label. The brewery executive John Carling married John Bassett. It was, like two empires together.
Hey, let's go to Corey in Washington.
Hello?
Hey,
Yeah.
Corey.
Hey. Hey, guys. Love you guys. Listener. Hey, I was just going to let you guys know, in Alaska, at King Street Brewery, they have cans that you peel the whole top off. So it's almost like a can of chili.
That sounds
And
horrible.
you can peel the whole top off and drink it like a pint can. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it.
No,
I haven't seen that
never
before.
seen it. It sounds like a way to cut your entire mouth off.
It's weird. I've tried. I had one once in Austin, and it felt unnatural actually.
So it's basically like a fake glass. almost.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
Now, have they ever, has the single glass wine ever taken off? I've known they've pushed it a couple times on Shark Tank.
You know where, I had never even seen it before I went to Italy. Like, they do it there.
Really?
Yeah.
Because they don't drink as much as us.
No.
No.
They don't drink in excess. Like, they drink all the time, which is kind of interesting,
Yeah.
but they don't drink as much as us. But they're always drinking.
Yeah.
Like, it would be weird to go to lunch and not have a drink. It would be weird to congregate and not have wine there. But, like, the thing that I thought was weird is there weren't just, like, kids puking in the streets.
Yeah, they don't drink to excess the
Yeah.
way we do. They don't eat to excess
No.
either.
Strange.
We've, to excess is our thing.
But they do got that coronavirus, though. So,
Yeah,
you know,
well-
they think they're doing everything right.
Yeah, well, they don't wash.
Hey, let's go to Chad in PA.
Hey, Gail. Hey, Ron. Hey, Chris.
Hey.
First time caller. Hey, I just wanted to give you a call. When we were 15, 16 years old, we used to get the Mad Dog 2020 all the time. You get one bottle on a Friday night, and you'd be all fucked up by the end of the bottle.
Yeah.
I turned 40 last year, and for my birthday, my friends got me a bunch of Mad Dog 2020 bottles. And we cracked one open and tried to take a shot of one and couldn't even finish the bottle.
No,
So
it's
it's
disgusting.
it was great back in the day, but it's terrible now.
I was with a friend of mine, and we were probably 8th, maybe 9th grade, and we're hitting on the Mad Dog, and he started barking and acting like he was a mad dog, and we were laughing about it, and then he didn't stop it. And
Oh my God.
we were like at a little, we're standing next to a road on a corner, and there was like a 4-way stop, and he ran out to this car, and he starts barking in the window, and the person is pretty freaked out, and they're trying to roll their window up, and then he put himself up on the front of the car in front of the windshield, and he started to, as a joke, smack his head over on the windshield, and I'm like, oh, this thing turned really weird fast. This is unexplainable. You know what I mean?
Oh my
This is just a really now bad situation. I mean, I was just laughing hard a moment ago, at the barking and stuff. And he just couldn't stop himself once he started to go into madness.
It's that fucking fortified wine, man.
And that was like, when you're in your early teens, the blackout thing is like, it's so mysterious. And I was trying to explain the next day. So you were barking in the window, and then you started to hit your head on the windshield. It was like literally like a person that we knew. You know what I mean? Everything was neighborhood. I mean, it's something. It's hard to live down.
Yeah.
That kind of a thing.
Hey, Michael in Florida.
So my dad used to drink Dewar's, and they were having a party at the house, and I remember I grabbed his glass, thinking it was ginger ale. Not good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all part of the fun. It's all part of the fun of youth. I forgot when it came to whiskey. Again, we went very, very cheap, and it was always Southern Comfort
Oh yeah.
in the very early days because there was a sweetness to that.
Like cherry whiskey almost.
Yeah, and it's you're not going to feel good.
No.
It's
Yeah.
It's all sugar.
the sugar is a terrible thing when you have a hangover with it. It just zaps you.
The interesting thing about the difference of of what you think liquor tastes like when you're young versus like if you have expensive is totally different. Like we used to drink vodka, and we would drink Georgie vodka.
Right.
Oh, God.
And honestly, that's not vodka. I don't know what that is, but I don't know why we put ourselves in the pain of
Because
drinking
it's
that.
a few dollars cheaper.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're on a...
Just seeing the label kind of gives me chills a little bit, and I can feel something weird.
But you don't even think
in my
technically
throat.
that it's vodka.
No, man, it's really intense.
There was a blue Georgie that was totally fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, this
Blue
is
Georgie.
I mean, nothing should be that color. Nothing should be that color.
Nothing on earth.
Yeah.
That's Vulcan
Also,
juice.
from the same era, we used to drink 99 apples.
Oh, yeah.
And this is, again, another sweet. I mean, I guess it's supposed to be vodka,
Right.
but it's sugar, so I don't really know what's going on. And it's
Super flavored
like
vodka.
99 proof.
Yeah.
So I don't really know what it is, but it's not something anyone should drink,
Here's
let
the
alone
thing.
children.
The only reason that they make a bottle like that is because it looks good in the dorm room when you put a candle in
Right.
it. You know what I mean?
And, 99 apples is bad, but I would recommend not to fuck with 99 bananas.
Oh, God.
You don't
Yeah,
want
there are
the
people who
false
drank it.
banana flavor. Like a fake banana flavor with.
The smell alone was fucking horrifying.
Let's go to John in Kansas.
Gail, you just got me with 99 bananas. In college, we would mix that with Sobe, that soft drink Sobe,
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah.
and
So
we called it a monkey's uncle.
Oh, man, that sounds so rough.
But my first drink, or my first sip, I guess, my dad has been drinking Old Charter and 7-Up for as long as I've been alive.
Oh, my
And
God.
he comes into my room one night when we were getting ready to go out to eat or something, and I couldn't tie my shoes yet. And he comes in there to help me tie my shoes, and I remember this like it was yesterday. I was like, Dad, what is that? He's like, here, just take a pull off of that and tell me what you think. And I drink it to this day, and so does he.
Did both of you refer to it as a highball?
He just called it his drink. I've never heard him say the word highball in my life.
Highball is something that the old people that I think came into life in the 40s would say.
Yeah. Which is interesting because, it's a highball glass, but I didn't know that was, for some reason, that's, the cocktail. Like, they were like, make me a highball.
Make me a highball.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't matter what was in it. They would still call it a highball.
Hey, Craig in Texas. Craig.
Hey, y'all.
How's
Big
it
fan of Mr. Stanley, but had to correct him. Bud Ice is still available down here in $30, $35 kegs.
That's fucking cheap.
Yeah.
Should make a run. I haven't fucking had a Bud Ice in years.
$35 keg.
Joe in Utah.
Hey, the first drink I had was a shot of Sambuca, followed by a cocktail glass full of rum. I was 12 years old, and there was a cigarette ash in the rum.
Now, has any adult ever tasted Sambuca? It's such a childhood drink.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's more like you would drink a little taste of it after dinner. It's supposed to be just like a little after dinner liqueur because it's just liquid black licorice.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it tastes like.
I think that's called like a
yeah.
Yeah, you're heading in that thing.
Digestif.
Yeah,
Digestif.
and that's something the Italians believe for some
Right.
reason because they barely drink, and what they do drink is shitty.
Grady in Wisconsin.
Hey guys, love the show, of course. Hey, I just want to tell you about my first drink real quick. My dad only drank Budweiser, and he would always spit in his bottle. So one day, I was like 10 or 11, I took a swig out of his juice spit and threw up everywhere. From that time forward, I didn't touch beer or alcohol until I was almost mid-20s. Like, it scarred me for life.
That happens to some people.
Yeah.
Like,
If you have
they-
an early bad
if
experience.
they have an early, like, oh, I tried drinking once and I threw up. So
Get over
you
it.
got to fucking rally. Now, the weird thing, too, is any whiskey that I drank when I was younger, it seems, memory-wise, it was always when we were ice skating at a pond,
Mhm.
and it went down very easy. You know what I mean? When you're nice and cold,
Yeah.
you can
It
really
needs
drink
to be-
whiskey fast.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to lie to you. Just wonderful memories.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Just, well, I'm warm now.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to skate without a shirt on.
Here's one that for some reason, like I'm sitting there talking about gross drinks that we would drink as a kid, and I have like, ugh, that makes me. But for some reason, still positive memory. And we used to drink whatever cheapest whiskey, and then we would mix it with cream soda, which we called a sinister minister. I don't know if that really exists as a drink, but
No,
that's what we called it.
It does not. No one mixes
whiskey,
anything
and
with cream
I
soda.
still think of it positively. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like I know it's not a drink for adults, but I'm happy to think, it doesn't turn my stomach to think of the old sinister minister.
When you had that cream soda and whiskey, did you have a little bagel with it too? The only time I've ever
Yeah.
drank cream soda is when I have a bagel. I think it's the perfect combo.
Jason in Minnesota.
Hey, folks. So I'm sure every kid did this when going to like parties when I was like 16. My parents would buy these like little 6-ounce Ice Mountain waters. So I'd dump them out and I'd fill 2 up. One would be 151 rum, the other one would be Stoli vodka.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't want them to notice that stuff was missing, so I would only be able to fill those up like a quarter full. Go to the party, and all my friends, they have their guys, so they got beer and like bottles and shit like that. And here's little bitch boy Jason pulling out these 2 little tiny water bottles with just like 2 shots each of booze in it.
I wish you
Probably
wouldn't
why
call
I didn't get
yourself.
laid.
I think it works good.
I don't think you should call yourself bitch boy.
Little bitch boy.
It's understandable.
Now, you understand that our friend Earl Douglas has had none of these experiences.
Oh, yeah, that's
He
true.
was never what I would call an American teenager.
Yeah. Never had these experiences. By the way, that water bottle trick, also one of the worst experiences of my life. Waking up in the heat, in the sunlight, just, oh my God, it was so disgusting. And just feeling around for water, grabbing it, hitting it, and it's just straight hot vodka that had been baking in the
Christ.
sun. Forgot that I had switched it out.
That's
It was an instant puke situation.
Yeah,
An
good for you.
instant puke.
good. Get rid of that poison.
Mm-hmm. Let's go over here to Mike in New York.
Hey, Gail. Hey, Ronnie. How
Hey.
you guys doing?
Good.
This is about my little brother who got pinched in the park for drinking, and the police brought him home, and my dad's like, well, what'd you catch him with? And my brother had stolen a bottle of cream de mint from their liquor
cream
cabinet.
de
Yeah.
mint.
I wonder, what does that even, what does it even go in? Is there like a signature cocktail? Because you can't drink that straight, right?
No,
no
that's
one drinks that
disgusting.
straight. It's got to be mixed in something.
It's mixed into the 1950s.
I bet in the 1950s, I bet there was like one of those kind of like egg white cocktails where
Yeah.
they like
Oh,
whip
yeah.
the egg, little mint, little
Something
creme de
for-
mint.
Elizabeth Taylor to enjoy next to the pool with her kitty cat glasses.
Let's go to John in New Jersey.
Hello, Bennington.
Hey.
First time drinking was an 8th grade graduation party where we all, we got a case of beer and hated it so much that we funneled most of it. Beer bong.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
We used to shotgun with the
Yep.
cans and stuff like that. It was
Yeah.
like, the whole point was to, let's just get to drunk.
Yeah.
Let's get this over with.
Yeah. Let's stop the madness.
Shotgunning seems possible. Funneling never seemed possible to me.
Funny,
Like,
it's
it's
disgusting.
just
It's a
too
waste
much.
of beer.
And just fucking sharing tubes.
But the idea of a shotgun where that much liquid is pushed into you so fast,
Yeah.
it's not a good thing.
No. It really
Not a good
isn't.
feeling. It's a
And
very
you-
bloated feeling.
And you can get drunk by drinking quickly. You know what I mean? You don't have to do that. Murray in Tallahassee.
Hey, what's up, cousins?
Uh-huh.
I've got a shot to piggyback off of the Sambuca. It's called the Statue of Liberty. Chris, you should try this with your friends. It's impressive.
Okay.
You get a shot of Sambuca. You dip your 2 fingers in it, one next to your thumb and your middle finger, and you light that on fire and do the shot while you're holding your finger up like the Statue of Liberty holding her hand up.
That's pretty
I forgot the flaming shot thing that took off for a while.
Bacardi 151. A big
We
fan of
would,
that.
again, you're like fucking teen boy asshole. The 2 things that we would do is flaming shots and glass eating, where you would bite into the glass, grind it in your teeth until it turns to sand, and then swallow it.
Oh my God.
Idiots.
John in Texas.
Yeah, hi all. Just wanted to say, my mom's not a big drinker, but she used to drink that cream de mint mixed with milk.
Yeah,
That
that's what I was
sounds
like.
disgusting.
That's exactly what I was thinking. It's like I feel like it was like one of those egg white drinks. Oh wait, Jeff in Florida has it. Hey Jeff.
Hi. I remember cream de menthe back in the day was the main ingredient for a grasshopper. Which was
I've
an
heard
ice
the
cream
term
drink.
grasshopper.
Yeah, I knew that there was like some old school drink. And look,
And some restaurants would actually pour cream de menthe over ice cream for a dessert too.
makes sense. Yeah. What's the ingredients?
3/4 of cream de mint, then some white cream to cocoa, heavy cream, and a cup of ice.
Yep.
It's a milk drink.
Yeah, it's a good old milky drink.
No
Yeah.
man has ever had that. That's
I
only
drank
a-
that. I
yeah.
have diarrhea immediately.
It's fat wife drink. And for my fat wife, can I get a cream de mint?
Can I get extra cream in mine? Ryan in Rhode Island.
Hey, how you guys doing today?
Good.
I got a story when I was 11 years old. I'm at my aunt and uncle's 25th wedding anniversary, and there was a keg in the back yard on the deck, and I was the only kid there. So my job was to kind of pump the keg, and then when the adults wandered off, I pumped the keg for myself, and I wandered off into the backyard and drank a beer for the first time alone, and I started feeling funny. And I started laughing, and then a minute later, I looked down and I got my first boner.
Man, this just turned into a meeting, didn't it?
You really like beer.
Yeah.
Elizabeth in Lexington.
Hey guys.
Hey, how's it
First
going?
time caller, long time listener.
How's it going?
We took my sons to their swim meet, and my husband decided that he had to have a cocktail, so he took a thing of lemonade, dumped half the lemonade out, and poured the other half full with vodka, but didn't tell anybody. So my son, who was 13 at the time, poured himself a giant glass of it, drank the whole thing, thought it tasted funny, but didn't say anything, and then went out and swam the fastest he's ever swam. Then we discovered that he was actually kind of drunk the whole time.
Wow. Wow.
Thanks, Elizabeth.
He would have drowned.
Yeah.
Elizabeth Warren has done something today. And she has endorsed Tulsi Gabbard. So
Wow.
that's a shocker.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
No, she said let's
Makes
take
sense.
she said let's take a deep breath, spend a little time on that. We don't have to decide this minute. I need some space around this. I'm going to take a little time to think a little more. Wow.
She's like one of the people standing in line at the election who still hasn't decided who they're voting for.
Boo, boo, boo. She said there was no room for her to run between the 2 lanes of the Democratic primary that were taken up by the moderate Biden and Warren's fellow progressive. That is true. You can't kind of split those votes. She said if you bring up the fact that there's sexism in this race, you're a whiter. If you say there's no sexism, about a bazillion women think, what planet do you live on? I promise you this, I have a lot more to say on that subject later on. And she then leaned back, killed a cream de mint, and said Mama's going to do what Mama wants to do now. I don't know whether you guys saw this, but there's this Hulu thing on Hillary this weekend. It's a little documentary. And Bill Clinton apologizes to Monica Lewinsky in it, apparently.
Wow.
Said sorry that her life is defined by what happened. And from his point of view, he was under a lot of pressure. He felt the pressure and thought it would be a great way to release stress to masturbate on her.
Mm-hmm.
And he said it worked for a while. He says he felt so good after he came. He'd be able to nap or have a little something to eat.
Yeah. It's helpful like that.
I don't know whether you want to be, as a woman, you want to be thought of as a stress ball.
Yeah.
But you can't, like, when he didn't apologize, people were mad. His apology is going to make people mad.
Mm-hmm.
There's some shit that they're just going to be mad at you for.
Yeah, he should just not bring it up.
Now, I was watching a documentary about Led Zeppelin when they were the biggest band in the world. And I think it was Pamela DeBars was probably the girl who was being interviewed. And she goes, and that's when they decided they were more into 13-year-old girls than anything else. And they just would date these 13 and 14-year-old girls when they were, Led Zeppelin, the biggest band in the whole world. And they showed this one girl. She goes, I was amazed, and he wanted me. I got to stand on the side of the stage. She goes, it was great. And she's an adult woman now.
Yeah.
She's like, I was with Jimmy Page. I don't know what to tell you. I don't feel bad.
It's not my fault.
Yeah.
I know that much. I didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
I enjoyed myself.
I came in at 13. It's weird, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it's very weird. Particularly because 13 and 14 is a child. You know what I mean? I mean, that's a kid. That's not like, hey, she was hot. Yeah, she was 17, but she was so hot.
Right.
She looked like a woman. 13 is not that.
13 is not going to look like a woman.
Yeah.
But I guess you're like, hey, I'm in the biggest band in the whole world.
Mm-hmm. I'm unstoppable, really.
Like,
I want what I want.
Above the law. I'm literally above the law right now. But, I mean, this is not going to change the way people look at Led Zeppelin.
No.
He said every time they was done having sex with her, he would just play the Rain song next to her.
Mm-hmm.
Like Almost Famous. All the things we run and grab. We don't run and grab that. But, I mean, Chuck Berry got in trouble for the same thing. Jerry Lee Lewis.
Yeah.
I've had a thing with rock and roll and extra young people.
Jerry Lee Lewis was pedo and incest, both, so.
Second cousin. That isn't an incest down in
I thought she
Mississippi.
was first.
No, I don't think so.
That's not
Earl,
so.
Jerry Lee Lewis's wife. He married her. He made an honest 13-year-old out of her.
Mm-hmm.
Was it first or second cousin?
Second cousin.
Yeah. I don't even know what second cousin is. That's your cousin's cousin?
Yeah, your cousin's child, I think.
Look, she looks nice and old there. I mean, her hair's done. Elvis brought a 14-year-old girl, and the father signed off on it.
Yeah.
Father was in the military. Okay, Elvis, you take care of my little girl. Oh,
Ugh.
I'm going to take her home, dye her hair, take her to barber so she looks like Elvis. Every girl that Elvis was with, if he was with many amount of time, started to look like Elvis.
That's self-confidence.
I guess.
For him, I mean. To be like, I'd like everyone to look like me. Because I'm so great.
I mean, at least Jerry Lee didn't do that.
No.
He called himself the killer, and then he did. Is Jerry Lee gone?
He's still alive.
No, yeah, he's still
Unbelievable.
rocking
What
it.
is he, 100?
He's got to be like 90.
Is he the last one?
He has to be.
He's only 84.
Oh, okay.
Maybe he was 14 when he was with his second cousin.
Little Richard's how old? 87?
87.
Little Richard's still alive.
Mm-hmm. Did you just Google just people who are alive? Like, what is this list?
Google just.
These are people who are alive, live.
Yeah.
How old's Dylan? He's 78?
78, yeah.
That's crazy.
This list is hilarious.
I didn't realize Bruce was 70.
Of course he is. He broke at like 73. How old is Clapton?
74.
He can't even play anymore.
No.
How's he 71?
Seems older.
That's mean.
This is the end of the list of musicians who are still alive, according to Google.
Brian Setzer is 60. I don't think that's anything to brag about. I mean, so what? I don't think you make this list at 60. People you're shocked are alive?
His music is a lot older, though.
Right. That's why he's made the list.
There's a rumble in Brighton tonight. No, there's not. This is the 80s. Hey, cat.
That is a good song, though. Rumble in Brighton.
Can I just say this? I think all songs are good. Doesn't matter who it is. Yeah.
All of
There's
them?
not a single song I don't like. I like every goddamn one of them. I always say this after every song. Good stuff. Thanks.
Yeah. I like that there's a tune to it. You know what I mean? You could sing along to.
Yeah, I do. I like that too.
Mm-hmm.
Earl doesn't like Led Zeppelin. Earl likes Korn. He likes all the good bands.
He's very eclectic.
He likes Korn in Chicago. Last two GPSs he puts in it. Not just a Chicago song, a 9-minute one.
Feels like the last 5 GPS. Are you a big Chicago fan?
Loves them.
I'm a very specific period. With when Terry Kath was the lead guitarist, and after he died, I was done. Because then you went to ballads, and
they went to listenable songs. And then what did you have to do? You had to move over to Ride the Painter Pony Left a Hat. Oh, ha! Got no worries. Just that should be like a whole fucking genre. Do a GPS on fat singers. Here's a guy who is fat as fuck.
GPS fat. What do you guys think? Fat City, we'll call it. That's cool.
Take me down to the real fat city. I always think like a big guy who's singing, he knows he's going to get hit with the fat guy singing, so he just embraces.
You have to, right?
It's not like if you're a fat woman and you have to act like you're trying to have a nice gown or something. Like what they put poor Mama Cass through.
Yeah.
You know?
I would pick her as my favorite fat singer, I think.
Really? I gotta go Meatloaf. I mean, he was not really fat, but he was crying and sweating and doing everything he could do.
I like John Popper as a fat singer.
I don't respect him for what he did, tied off his belly.
No, that's a good point. He's no
And
longer.
everything
You have
was
to
over.
embrace it. Notice,
His career was done.
by the way,
They
I,
only like the fat guy.
I said Mama Cass, but you notice I didn't say Adele.
That's a good
Yeah.
point.
Because she
let everybody
yeah.
down.
Sucks.
Because now she looks like
Let's
Sarah
see what
Paulson.
John Popper looks like now.
Oh, that's fucking weird looking.
Mm-hmm.
He looks like Joe DeRosa.
And it's weird.
Don't like it.
Did he have a lot of facial hair too before? Or just I'm thinking of his fat.
Heavy.
Yeah.
That was just the fat. It wasn't hair.
I'm just confused. Yeah, he wasn't hairy. I don't know why. I
What
thought
about
he was.
Leslie West from Melton? That was always When he did Mississippi Queen, you couldn't even see him. You're like, oh, this guy seems huge.
He seems huge.
Go ahead, put on Mississippi Queen. I hate to keep asking you guys to get music. I mean, if you just heard this and you didn't see him, you're like, how big is this guy? Sounds heavy already, right? This guy sounds like a small guy. Oh, by the way, did the James gang steal this whole kind of hook? There's no fucking doubt. I just heard a piece of chicken fall out of his mouth. You can't even understand it.
No, but it's kind of great.
There's a big mouthful of mashed potatoes.
All things to be eating while you're recording.
You don't think that's a good
big
idea?
bowl of mashed potatoes?
Yeah, but he put butter in it. You know, he's not doing the gravy. Just one of the many ways you can make a potato. Everyone just seems to be set on these fries.
Yeah.
You know, they won the race.
I prefer mashed.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Over fries?
No. I mean, look, it obviously matters what you're eating. I don't want mashed potatoes in a cheeseburger, but if let's just say we're all going to sit here and just have a potato, I feel like I like the mash.
Just plain mashed potatoes, nothing, not as a side dish. Now, could you have it with your breakfast instead of home fries? Can I get those mashed? I have an omelet and some mashed potatoes.
I would like to do like a poached egg on my mashed potatoes.
Why hasn't that ever happened?
And then the yolk running all over the mashed potatoes. That sounds delicious, and
It
yet
does.
it's never existed.
It's never been done. We could open up a place called Breakfast Potato. What kind of breakfast potato would you like? Raw. That's weird. Who are you, Rocky? This is the only song we'll be playing.
At our potato place?
You know that out of all the GPSs we've ever done, Earl's never once played Led Zeppelin.
Really?
Never. Never played Led Zeppelin, never played U2. He fucking doesn't like popular bands.
He doesn't.
He loves Chicago, though. 250-624. Huh? What are you guys talking about? Is it 250-624? Is this a song or a math problem? So fucking crazy. Bring on the horns now, guys. There's 7 of you. One of the guys got a cold sore and had to fucking cancel the tour. What are you doing with all this papers? Gonna plug the Unmasked?
There's just so many papers. But yeah, Unmasked with Tammy Pescatelli is happening Thursday, March 19th. It's at 6 p.m. It's here at the SiriusXM studios in New York City. So you can go to @Bennington Show on Twitter for your chance at free tickets to see Tammy Pescatelli. She's so great.
What day does that fall on?
Thursday. March 19th is a Thursday.
Wait, I just realized something. Bro, are you keeping an eye on the schedule? Because we have a guest here coming in, and it fucking goes right up against coffee time.
Oh, my God.
Yes, I got to make sure you guys get your coffee before you.
Oh, my God.
Why are you acting like that's your idea?
I'm not at all.
Can I just turn the blame over to Chris for 1 second?
Why?
That's where I'm more comfortable. Did you ask them about the thing when I said, ask them about
I did.
the
They said they only use their own cups. I went down yesterday after the show. I was like,
that's nice.
Can I bring? I just said I would do it, whatever. That can I bring my own cup?
Oh,
my own
you were
mug?
covered for Gail.
My own cup, my own mug.
Stop! Just
Can I bring a mug?
Yes,
of
I
beer?
understand what you
Why
said.
did you get
know what? The
hung
more
up
you're
on
explaining, now I'm starting to think he's lying too.
I'm not lying. I went down there at 5:30.
No, because you know why I don't believe you don't. You don't remember anything I ask you to do. So why is this one thing?
I made sure of it.
But then wouldn't you text me immediately after and go,
I
"Hey,
would
you know
have.
that thing?
But
I'm going in," and they're gonna. And at that point, they're gonna go. You know, a lot of people are asking to bring their own mugs. Let's start doing this. But really,
Yeah, I
it's
know.
just me.
Now, here's the thing.
People of all races and creeds are coming in here. Men, women, black and white. They all want.
Maybe they'll get them to actually do it. It's like
And
maybe
the
we
weight
should do this.
variation between the people. Oh, look who it is. I haven't seen you all day.
Oh, wearing his fucking, what was that, a Cali hat?
Yeah.
Back from
You
when
get
you,
that in L.A.?
you and your
I
best
did.
friend were in California
Dude,
together.
Let me tell you something about this fucking prick in California. He was so into bringing home tchotchkes that
He always is like that.
instead of like going out and buying some stuff, right? He would go around and just like research it, write it down, and he's going to the $10 place and he goes like this. You think it's $10, but they always have 50% off. So most of these prizes would be $5. What are you giving out? What papers are you?
It's a plug for our guest coming
Is
up
it
soon.
money paper too?
Are you going to be able to get back here in time before the guest?
Run, Earl.
I don't want to drink coffee in front of the guest.
It's rude. Because then he'll say, "Why
How
didn't I
many
get caught?"
fucking papers are they giving you?
This is so
I mean, I used to
messed
think
up.
that you were blowing this out of proportion.
No, it's insane. It's insane.
There's a number of papers that maybe they should really take the old ones out, put new ones in. I think
Oh,
that's
you
the-
realize I don't read.
Oh shit!
I never learned how to read. Oh boy. Now we're up to 150 cases
Yep.
in Midtown Manhattan.
I think what that
Jesus,
really
no.
happened. I think De Blas was saying a couple new cases. I think 4 new
Yeah.
here in Manhattan.
Yeah. There was a guy in Westchester, who exposed people in Manhattan.
De Blasio said this. He goes, so there were 7 new cases, and I'm obviously married to a black woman. Not a single black person has picked up the
Interesting.
coronavirus.
They're immune.
I'm going to run some tests on her, see if she is the antidote. This is De Blasio. Yeah, I'll take some questions. Oh, I'm 7'3". Yeah.
He's so tall, and she's so petite.
Is she?
She's very petite.
Everyone looks petite next to him.
I saw her here at the SiriusXM studios. I've seen them both on the street before.
What was she doing here?
I don't know what she
Spinning
was doing.
records?
I don't know what she was up to.
Then I saw our governor. He's like this. We're going to do everything we can do to take care of this little thing. Beep, bop, beep, you'll see him. He's fucking out of here.
By the way, Shirlene or Shirley, I can't remember her name, but she gave me a very warm smile.
Really?
Very warm.
I've never gotten a warm smile from anybody in my life.
So warm. I felt a chill leave my body as she smiled. Suddenly I was at peace.
The only time anyone ever smiled at me, a guy right before he hung himself.
What do you think he was smiling about?
I don't know. I guess the absurdity of life.
You were there? You were a witness to the
Yeah.
suicide?
Yeah, I was the one who kicked out his chair. I heard a street joke the other day. You want to hear it?
I do want to hear it.
So this guy comes up to another guy, I don't know if they even knew each other,
Mhm.
Oh, wait. Yeah, they knew each other from when they were younger, but they hadn't seen each other for years. So he goes, what's today's date? The guy says, March 1st. Guy starts marching, and then he finishes and goes, okay, now will you tell me the date?
That's adorable.
Tell that to Juju.
I'm going to tell that to Juju.
Look at that. Vito, he smiled for a while, then he looked like, huh? Like he was like, I'm going to laugh along with everyone else, but he hasn't figured out the joke yet. Am I crazy or is his face getting fatter?
It is. I've noticed it too.
I think it's his beard is adding weight to his face.
Chris, you're down to almost nothing. You're
not
the
true.
new person
You're
everybody's going to be
sickly
talking about.
Hey, Kathy in Michigan.
Hey, Gail.
Hi.
I'm listening to you guys. I just had a quick idea for you for not wasting paper.
Yeah.
Depending on what's on it, as long as there are no numbers or stuff, just silly stuff, you can take all that home, have Juju use that for her art paper, and then if there is stuff on it, bring it back and throw it in your paper shredder at work.
Oh,
That's such a
great
good idea, Kathy.
You know what, Kathy? Kathy, I said as we bought the Greyhound in
Pittsburgh,
Michigan seems like a dream to me
Kathy!
now. It took me 4 days to hitchhike from Saginaw. I got a real good call. Laughing on the phone, Chris Stanley is losing weight. He said the man in the gabardine suit was a spy. And
I said, be careful, his bow tie is really a camera.
Vito ate meatballs and little Italian sausages. Then he masturbated into his hat. What's going on now, Vito?
What's
He's
happening in
talking
there?
about booking. I guess it's about our guest. Should we do the ZipRecruiter first?
Should we do this now?
Yeah, let's do this now.
Let's
Yes.
do the ZipRecruiter now.
Okay.
What are you giving thumbs up?
I was saying yes, ZipRecruiter now.
ZipRecruiter, but what's going on? We
Is
need to
that
bring
all
our guest
good?
in now?
We have about 5 minutes.
All right, how long is your break, Chris?
If we single, it'll be 4 minutes.
So should we not ZipRecruit? Hiring for your business can be time-consuming. CEO Talia Goldstein needed to hire matchmakers for her personalized matchmaking company, 3-Day Rule. So she turned to ZipRecruiter.
And now you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/Bennington. Talia's business is growing rapidly, and she's on a mission to hire several matchmakers a month. But it's hard finding the right matchmakers because it takes such a unique range of specific skills.
Before ZipRecruiter, Talia would get so many applicants. It took her forever to weed through them, but with ZipRecruiter, she says she gets high-quality candidates right away. ZipRecruiter's powerful technology scans thousands of resumes to find people with the right experience and invites them to apply to your job.
ZipRecruiter is so effective that 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. To try ZipRecruiter for free, go to ZipRecruiter.com/Bennington. That's ZipRecruiter.com/BENNINGTON. ZipRecruiter.com/Bennington. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Faction Talk 103, it's the Bennington Show. Faction Talk 103, it's the Bennington Show.
I'm gonna tell you a story. I'm gonna tell you about my town. I'm gonna tell you a big fat story, baby. It's all about my town. Yeah, down by the river.
Dan Abrams is in studio with us. His new book, John Adams Under Fire, The Founding Fathers Fight for Justice in the Boston Massacre, is available now wherever books are sold. And you were saying today is the anniversary.
Literally,
Yeah.
March 5th, 1770 is when the Boston Massacre happened. In Boston, 9 p.m. So we're a few hours away from the full 250th anniversary.
Are they doing anything big up there today?
Yeah,
do you know?
they're doing. But
Yeah.
the historical society there is doing something, this was the event that really could have spurred the American Revolution.
Well, You know, I will tell you the way that I grew up learning it. I grew up outside of Philadelphia, so early American stuff used to be, very, very big in our school system. And I would have been completely wrong about what happened. I had in my mind, and I know I was taught this, that these terrible British people came lined up, these brave young Americans, and shot them, and it's not really the way it went down.
And you know why we were all led to believe that? Is because Paul Revere did such a good job of promoting that account.
So it's just that propaganda from the
it was
word
the propaganda.
go.
It's like that picture, that image that we all have of that lithograph of the British soldiers all in their red coats lined up shooting at colonists in a line is completely fictitious.
Right.
And that's not at all what happened. And this book is about the trial of the soldiers with John Adams representing them.
Now, by the way, I'd never heard that before you put this together, and I feel really embarrassed.
Well,
even to say
two
it.
key things, two big things in history came from this trial. Number one, the phrase "facts are stubborn things" came from John Adams in this case. And number two, the standard of reasonable doubt in a trial came from the Boston Massacre trial. So this was a really, 6 years before the revolution begins, and it was so important that the colonists had faith that the legal system was working fairly because they wanted their heads.
Right.
I mean, these guys had just shot and killed 5 colonists.
Right.
And they're thinking, we want revenge. We want blood.
No, it's very, very interesting, too, because that same emotion would happen today. You know what I mean? Like
Absolutely.
We demand everything that we say that we love about our system, but we demand quick and ugly justice, because we're just thinking emotionally all the
Totally right.
Yeah.
Because everyone hated the British, right?
Yeah.
It's like, you think Congress has 13% support? The
Yeah.
British had like 0 at the time. And so they'd killed 5 colonists.
Yeah.
None of them had died. They had the guns. And so everyone wanted their heads. But as it turned out, the story was a bit more nuanced, meaning there were snowballs and rocks being thrown at the soldiers. A shot was fired in the air. When the shot was fired in the air, someone came and hit one of the soldiers, and a fight ensued in some way, shape, or form. And the question became, is this murder? Or is it manslaughter? Or is it self-defense?
Yeah.
And the trial, we have a 217-page transcript from the trial from 1770. John Adams in his own words. It's just fascinating stuff.
Now, also, even when you hear that story, of people throwing stuff, doesn't it just sound like Palestine today? Like something on a daily basis when there are people and their troops kind of looking over, this kind of shit breaks out over and over and over.
And also, I think that it puts that kind of human spin on it because you're thinking about young men who are scared.
Right.
You know what
Sure.
I mean? Young men
Yeah.
who are in
Another
a heated
country, Right.
situation and scared and reacting in a way that honestly we don't know how any of us would react.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And the fact that they were actually able to get a fair trial is amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, considering, and one of the things they had to do to make that happen was they had to delay the trial. Because if the trial had happened right after the incident, these guys would have gotten convicted.
Now, of all the stories or things that are fabricated, or at least chains that we are proud of as Americans, wouldn't you think that would be something that we
It's
would
really
know
interesting,
to be
yeah.
proud of, that these guys were able to get a fair trial, and isn't that American? Isn't that
Yeah, except that at the time, John Adams had rocks thrown through his window and he lost half his law business, right? I mean, going to Ron's point about sort of comparing it to today, that's the same reaction people would have today, right? To representing someone this unpopular. I mean, think about the fact that one of Harvey Weinstein's lawyers, who was a professor at Harvard, all the students protested because he represented him. He was part of his legal team. You can hate Harvey Weinstein and think Harvey Weinstein is a despicable human being who deserves to be in prison for the rest of his life, and still say he should be able to get a legal defense.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, and so, I think that what's interesting is so many people who represent unpopular clients now compare themselves to John Adams, and they say, well, Dershowitz did it in the impeachment
Yeah.
proceeding. Oh, just like John Adams did. But they're not all quite like John Adams.
Yeah, I mean, it's a different. Yeah, I mean, this is people whose lives were on the line.
Yeah.
But I think the tricky thing is, and I agree that that we should be in favor of people having representation and be able to have a fair trial. But I think the reason it gets so muddled is the idea of that money can buy you more fairness.
Right.
And that's really where it's not a perfect system in that way.
Yeah.
Because, obviously in theory it works, but if money can buy one person more fairness and
Yep.
the other person not, it's difficult. And
There's no question that money is an issue
Yeah.
in our legal system. There is no question that if you have money, you can get a better defense than if you don't. Period. I think that the other issue, though, is when judging defense attorneys, we can say based on their tactics that not all tactics are okay, right?
Yeah.
I mean, criminal defense attorneys try and sort of hide behind the sheath of John Adams always and saying, well, think about what he did. And as a result, anything we do to defend our clients should be okay. And I don't see it that way, meaning John Adams went out of his way to make sure he did not impugn the entire city of Boston and all of the citizens who came and showed up that night. He felt that would be wrong. It would be improper. And yet you see in some of these cases people attacking the victims in ways that are unnecessary.
Right.
And I think we can make judgments about criminal defense lawyers based on that and why they're different from John Adams than he was in this case. But there is no doubt, and by the way, speaking of money, Gail, John Adams was very frustrated that he didn't get paid much at all. He was okay with not making a lot, but he felt that he was even underpaid by government standards for what he did there, and was always resentful at the captain of the soldiers because he didn't feel that he sufficiently appreciated his defense. And in fact, he says that he saw him in London years after this, and that the captain wouldn't say hello to him.
That's such a great story.
The new book is John Adams Under Fire, The Founding Fathers Fight for Justice in the Boston Massacre Murder Trial, and it's available now wherever books are sold.
So what drew you to this story was the fact that this is really not just the birth of the way we think of America, but also our system of laws was
Absolutely
laid out here.
This is the beginning of our system of law.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the infancy right here. This is the third book in a series with my co-author and I. The first one was called Lincoln's Last Trial. The second one, which is about the last major case Abraham Lincoln argued before he became president, where there's a transcript of Lincoln. It's the only case that exists of a transcript of a case Lincoln argued. The second one was Theodore Roosevelt for the Defense. It was a case where Theodore Roosevelt was actually sued in 1915 and testified for 8 days. But the one thing, the thread between all these stories, between every one of our books, is in each one there's a transcript of the trial. And to us, that allows us, we think, to get, seeing the actual words of John Adams, Theodore Roosevelt, and Abraham Lincoln, not in a speech and not in a thought-out letter, but extemporaneously, is really fascinating. And I think that's one of the things that makes this, this special.
I think there's also something in this country where we still have this weird thing with any of the founding fathers. They're almost secular saints to us, right? And also we were taught that from a very early age on, that we can't really do what you've done with this, was look at him as a person and judge him along with the moves just of this trial.
They make great statues,
Yeah,
right?
right,
The
right.
founding fathers, right? It's like, they look good in bronze and iron, but they were people.
Yeah.
And they had to make choices. And some of the choices they made were terrible. And some of the choices they made were great. And on the whole, they were terrific.
Yeah.
But, they were humans. And John Adams, suffered for this. And this became, something that he thought about a lot in his later life. This was a real seminal moment for John Adams at 34 years old, well before he became president of the United States.
I wonder when you think of the amount of movies that we've made in this country and how rarely we'll make a movie about the founding fathers or the birth of this. Yeah. It's very, very fascinating to me. The Brits constantly look at the same era,
Yeah, they do.
but
Yeah.
we act like, people don't really want to see those movies.
Yeah, and you remember there was a John Adams miniseries back in the day, probably 15 years ago, I think it was on HBO.
Yeah.
Paul Giamatti played John Adams. And this trial was the first episode. Unfortunately, it didn't completely accurately depict what happened, but it's a miniseries. It's not a documentary on what happened. But I don't even think that kind of miniseries would really be made today.
No.
That was based on David McCullough's book about John Adams. And there's not an appetite for it, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, it's really, really strange when you think every year we talk about, we're so, the Constitution, but we're not really ready to wrestle with it at all.
Yeah, I think it is weird to keep it in that place of fiction, but like fiction in our minds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like not really truthfully.
We almost want to think that it's magic.
Yeah.
Rather than, hey, is this ever something that maybe we should pick up? Maybe, it's time to update some of these things. I mean, when's the last time that we've really discussed that? It's a long time.
And it really is, I think, important that we evaluate some of the founding fathers, not just based on what they did. Obviously, what they did at the Constitutional Convention is critical. What they did as presidents is very important. But, there are things to both celebrate and be critical of. I mean, John Adams, one of the things, the least known facts, if you study John Adams, you know about it, but people don't really know, is that he and Abigail Adams both were fervently opposed to slavery back then. George Washington had slaves, Thomas Jefferson had slaves. John Adams and Abigail Adams felt very strongly that this was abhorrent. And they wouldn't do it. And that's really something the Adams together deserves some credit for, because it wasn't the sort of thing that was, necessarily widely, when you looked at the nationally in the colonies at the time, that popular a position to take as fervent a view as they did about that issue.
Well, the Abigail Adams that you're writing about is like probably one of the most modern thinkers that you could come up with. And then she, obviously, if she wasn't with him, none of her thoughts would have gotten out into the world.
Totally true. And look, if Abigail Adams were alive today, she'd be a political candidate, right? I mean, she wasn't just John Adams' support. She was the person John Adams turned to for guidance on policy and on positioning and on how he should respond, et cetera. And it's chronicled in these letters that have been saved between them, which is just such a valuable historical gem.
But what a fascinating thing that he was smart enough to have this person, in his life that was really counsel. I don't think there was probably going to be a lot of people that he was going to be able to find that were.
And beyond that, of you could think of maybe the way he viewed his wife or even women. Because of that, it just kind of makes me think about the kind of person who lives their work. Now you would imagine that a lot of people have that relationship with their wife or their partner or whoever they go home to. But that's somebody who brought it into his personal life. Even that alone, I think, is pretty interesting.
It is, and was unusual at the time, right? I mean, treating a woman as an equal was unusual at that time.
We're talking with Dan Abrams and his new book, John Adams Under Fire, The Founding Fathers' Fight for Justice in the Boston Massacre Murder Trial is out now.
Now, here we are 250 years later to the day. I was watching Elizabeth Warren this afternoon, and she's like, yeah, I'll get to it sometimes, but misogyny plays a role in this. And here we are 250 years after we're talking about Abigail Adams, but we also don't like to bring, I don't think we like to bring up those kind of things, or race, or religion, or whatever.
But yet, I do think that for some reason there is more of an appeal to have a conversation about race and a conversation about homophobia.
Right.
But for some reason, misogyny still is not an attractive conversation, I feel.
Well, and I think it's also one where, it's often hard to back it up with facts, right? Which is, you say, we know that there's this misogyny, right? I mean, sort of Elizabeth Warren's point is, of course there is.
Yeah.
And yet proving that, right? I mean, proving racism even is easier to some degree. That you look at race crimes, you look at crimes, hate crimes, et cetera.
Yeah.
And so, something like, which is almost more subtle.
Right.
Subtly ingrained in the misogyny.
Yeah, because it's a difference in the way that women are treated and the way that women are talked to.
Yep.
And it's very difficult when the defense is like, but I have a wife and a daughter.
Right.
That's true.
Yeah, and come on, I was just pointing out, because the comments don't tend to be, look, putting aside the harassment and the Me Too movement and all of that, which I think is actually, is enormous progress on some very critical issues.
Sure.
But it's the more subtle stuff that's much more widespread.
Right.
Right.
And you can always look at the way it's discussed or covered after a debate, because it's kind of like a more, I don't know, visceral experience with it, of the way a woman, any female candidate, when they go after someone and the language they use when
just
talking about
picture this. Picture everything Donald Trump says coming out of a woman's mouth, right?
Yeah.
I mean, even let's just talk about the Trump supporters for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
That coming out of a woman's mouth, I think, to many Trump supporters would be viewed as sort of gross,
Yeah.
right? People who view it as like, I kind of like that he's a counterpuncher. I kind of like that he talks tough. I don't think coming out of a woman's mouth it would be deemed. Now, many view it as coming out of anyone's mouth, that it's unacceptable. Sure. But I'm saying that I think even those who support Trump would have a problem with those words coming out of the mouth of a woman.
Yeah.
Right. Of course.
And language or toughness is one thing, but it's quite another even when you say a woman says something smart and it's not palatable to someone's ear. You know what I mean? Like suddenly they're like, who does she think she is? And it's very hard to explain. Okay, if a man had said this thing, or if a man had presented this information to you with that very nice male tone that they have.
Well, I mean, that goes back to Abigail Adams. She had to find a guy that she could get to march along that. But how is that different from Ivanka Trump? You know what I mean? Ivanka Trump comes in with, oh, my husband is really good at this stuff. When Ivanka Trump is, also...
But she's also doing her own stuff.
Right.
I mean, it's not like she's just like Jared's wife.
Right.
I mean,
but does she talk the same way as her brothers do? You know what I mean? Like, you don't see that same thing. And I think that she takes a certain amount of heat from the left and right that I don't think her brothers have to put up with. And I do think that she does think to herself, how do I present in a way that her dad or brothers don't?
Yeah, but she's also, I think, more moderate than Don Jr., for example, right? I mean, Don Jr. is, a radical and a rebel, right? And I don't think she's, nearly as radical. I'm not saying she's somehow, there are many people who are saying, she and Jared are going to be a calming force. I don't know. I don't know that I believe any of that. But
well, which one do you think has a political future? Would you say Ivanka or Don Jr.? Because I think it's going to be Don Jr.
Yeah,
I think he's the one.
Yeah, I think that Ivanka might have a problem with certain Republicans, right? Where the Republican Party is today, Don Jr. is the Donald Trump id, right? And that's a good place to be if you want sort of people who are going to get fired up and do everything they can. Now, the problem is it's going to have to be, I don't think on a national level it's going to work. I think that he could certainly become a senator in a red state. It sounds like he's, people are talking about Don Jr. for president.
Yeah.
I think that, look, it's very much going to be dependent on what happens in this election. When you see the stock market go up because Joe Biden looks like he's going to beat Bernie Sanders, tells you that there is a real sentiment that Joe Biden can also beat Donald Trump, in my view. And if that happens, I think that some of the allure of a Don Jr. fades. If Trump wins in 2020, I think that, it will be seen as a victorious strategy to have been talking the way Trump and even more so Don Jr. talk and attack people and get personal, etc.
I think these would be fascinating times if they weren't so damn crazy. You know what I mean? Like, I think some people in the future are going to have a ball looking back on this, but
right, like
I'd say a lot of cloudiness.
It'll be pretty cool.
Yeah. Look, and the difference is that we will have had every morsel of information available as to what happened in the Trump administration. We already have a lot of it. Back in the day with John Adams, there's a limited amount. Someone asked me at an event 2 days ago the day that we launched the book, asked, did you consult with any of the Adams family, some of the relatives about the book? And my answer to him was no, because there's not much they could add. Because there's such a limited amount of information. We have the letters, we have the transcript, we have the newspaper coverage from the time. We have a lot. There's nothing that an Adams relative could add for us about what happened at the Boston Massacre trial. And I think when it comes to looking back on this administration, there's going to be everything. I mean, everything. Every cabinet member, every account of who said what to whom is going to be available. And I think that's the case. That's even different than 50 years ago.
Sure.
Yeah,
I mean, the amount of, the paper trail alone, it's just never going to go away. Every text, every Google search, it's all.
Well, no, I mean, part of the problem is, and you read the Mueller report, and it talks about the fact that part of the reason they weren't able to get certain information is because administration officials were talking on WhatsApp and other apps where they don't retain the conversations.
Yeah.
And so that's going to be an interesting issue with regard to retention of some of the data. But
do these lawsuits go on for years too? A lot of the stuff that's happening, like in the Southern District and all that, is this stuff going to go on for another?
Which ones? I mean,
any of the stuff with Giuliani, any of the stuff with Trump.
So the tax cases are all in the Supreme Court right now. I expect that will get resolved fairly quickly. There's another tax case that's not in front of the Supreme Court. Giuliani is being investigated by the Southern District of New York. I don't think there's a chance that Bill Barr will allow an indictment of Rudy Giuliani. I think as a result, they're going to investigate, and they may find some violation of law, or they may not. But if there is a violation that they find, I don't think that they're going to indict Giuliani. And I don't think that would continue, if Trump wasn't. Look, I think that if Trump isn't reelected, the criminal side, I think, and I hope, will say, okay, let's, these investigations, unless someone was really stymied on, wrongdoing by Giuliani, let's say it was really bad. But the criminal law shouldn't be used to get back at people, right? And, it's sort of like when Ford pardoned Nixon, right? It was controversial, etc. But you know what? It was time to move on. And I feel like I know people are so angry, many, at Donald Trump and the administration. But the criminal law, like, if he loses, I hope that the criminal law is not used as a weapon. And it's the same way, by the way, I think it's absurd that people on the right keep talking about Hillary Clinton's emails. I mean, the number of times that's been investigated is crazy.
Well, the next thing I'm already saying that the Hunter Biden stuff is going to come up and all that. But I think if they don't go after that, guys, it's going to be seen by a lot of people as look how rich white guys take care of each other.
But he's not. He's the president. He's not just a rich white guy. I mean, that's the problem. It's like it's why I apply the same standard to look. I don't think that I've written about this. What Hillary Clinton did was wrong. It wasn't a crime. And with regard to Donald Trump, again, crimes. What campaign finance violations? Like, what are we talking about in terms of crimes? The bottom line is the people who, and look, there are people who've listed a variety of crimes that they believe that Donald Trump has committed. My point is, I don't think this country should be in the business of prosecuting former presidents. I think that it is dangerous business. That if someone gets impeached, okay, fair enough. Impeached and convicted, and you need to then you want to prosecute, that I understand. But impeached and not convicted by the Senate, it starts to feel political, even if there's an argument to be made for certain violations of law.
Fascinating stuff. Thanks so much for this. Congratulations on the book, too.
Thank you, guys.
Like we said, it's stuff that I think Americans should be thinking about all the time, taking some responsibility for how we got here.
The new book is John Adams Under Fire, The Founding Fathers Fight for Justice in the Boston Massacre Trial. It's available now wherever books are sold. Dan Abrams, thank you so much.
Thank you guys for having me on. I appreciate it.
See you next time.
Faction Talk 103, it's the Bennington Show. Bennington is back, and this is Faction Talk 103. It's the Bennington Show.
We just had Dan Abrams in here talking about his new book, John Adams Under Fire.
Bum, boom. John Adams under fire. He's dead.
We're like under the ground, am I right, guys?
Adams Abrams. Damn it.
I know.
He's a vampire. I think we're all sailing along till we got to that. Well, no. There's no sense of using criminal law.
What?
Yeah, I thought that was kind of an interesting /
elite
weird point to make. And I think like kind of my initial reaction to it was just like, criminal law is what we use against brown people.
Right.
Not rich white people. No, my God, no. He's president.
I'll tell you this, if Earl gets in trouble, we're never going to be able to get him out.
No.
You know what I mean? It's just a
Nothing.
fact. Actually, even Chris got in trouble. We couldn't get him out.
No, it'd be over for me.
Also, I think the reason I disagree with that statement is because let's say you have somebody in a position of power like that, and they push it and they push it, and you don't treat it like a criminal offense. We don't later look back on that thing and go, well, that guy found the line, and now we know that's as far as you go. No, you do that and more.
Look,
that's the whole point of law, right?
You say that, but the status quo takes care of the status quo, right? So if you're a senator I mean, why aren't these senators going like this? Hey, this presidential pardon thing has been taken advantage of. You know what I mean? No one ever does that.
Right.
We don't ever get 60 senators together. Why? Because they need to take care of that place.
But because Nixon wasn't tried criminally, do you think that it was like lesson learned?
Nope.
No. You know what I mean?
That's 100% true. It was not lesson learned. Earl, who just peeked in your window there? Looked like a very attractive couple.
I don't know. I only saw the black dude.
What did he just say?
I don't know, but it
He only
sounded...
saw the black lady?
I saw a black dude looking in, but I didn't see
Well,
the
that
other
doesn't mean
person.
that you can't be attractive, Earl. That's
Yeah.
self-hating, buddy.
Yeah, that's really bad. I have a book for you. It's called The Bluest Eye, and I want you to read it.
What, Toni Morrison?
Yeah, of course it's Toni Morrison.
Well, I mean, this isn't a game of fucking trivia, Earl. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I got Toni Morrison, so that's all I need to do.
But I want you to know it in your heart, Earl.
Earl, were you offended when Dan Abrams said that, or is that just,
It kind
standard?
of felt like the usual. I think like something I already knew. Like I had a friend of mine whose son got locked up on some pretty bogus charges, and it took years to him to get cleared out. I mean, it took him 4 years to get a bail hearing.
But then you don't hear somebody like that who, by all means is certainly a clever and powerful person say something like that, and it doesn't kind of kick your head back and go, wow, I can't believe that person just feels that so strongly.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly kicked me in the head a little bit, but it was like, I still felt like, that's a general thing. I mean,
You just feel like mo money, mo problems.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like if you have money, you're going to beat criminal charges in this country.
Yes, but even more so to not even have to do that much.
Yeah, that's what he was saying.
Let's
It's
just put an end to it.
I mean, honestly, what he said was, let's not even invoke the system.
You
in
know
that
what
way.
he's basically saying? Let Trump shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
that literally is the same thing. And that is the kind of stuff that I think keeps people cynical and just dissuades the whole Abigail Adams conversation.
And I feel like,
Negates what I meant to say.
this isn't specific to Trump. I feel this way
100%.
about white collar crime. I feel this way about using political power to make money, and I just, it's not specific to what's happening right now. That's just right
100%. I get it. All right. We're going to be talking about something that we could all agree on, and that's sandwiches.
Yeah.
Now, the Bronx is under fire today. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
HOSP is bringing in some sandwiches. And, Earl, are you going to be taking pictures of the sandwiches for the socials?
Yes, I am.
Let me tell you something, and I know that you consider yourself would you say that you were an amateur photographer?
I'm a grade above amateur photographer.
Rank amateur photographer.
So amateur and professional, what is that middle
I'll
ground?
probably be like an intermediary.
Voyeur.
I want you to understand something, Earl, because I know you're a guy who takes pictures of buildings and all that. You struggle with pictures of people, although I love the picture that you got with us with Pamela Adlon.
Yeah.
Love it. It's my favorite picture you've ever taken. But, Earl, the hardest thing to do is to take a picture of food. I don't know why.
I know.
It's the most difficult thing that you can do. And I want these sandwiches looking like these sandwiches.
Yeah.
I don't want the people from Tino's going, our sandwiches don't look like that. I'm going to take that and have them say, this is your life, reflect it back to you.
Yeah, I would like for you to capture that. And just because you said Pamela Adlon, it just reminded me, up on the app, on the SiriusXM app, the interview with Pamela Adlon is up, and the new season of Better Things starts tonight. So we should tweet that out, the link to the video. Chris?
Yeah,
That's
we
a
will.
good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I got this. Bob the Bear Height from Canned Heat. Nice fat guy.
Good.
That was from your mom. And then a lot of people just said Chris Stanley.
He's a
I'll
good
take
player.
it.
Look at you, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Was she learning something there?
Yeah, that's circle time, and they're going over some animals.
Oh, good. Maybe Bob the Bear. Hi. Will be part of it. Chris, I guess you can't eat any of the sandwich today because of the strict diet.
I mean, I would love to have some sandwich, Ron.
But you won't tell us what your strict diet is.
I just stopped drinking on the weekdays.
That's it?
And I've eaten slightly less bread. But I could have some bread. I could cheat a little bit, Ron.
Cheat? We don't even understand what your system is.
I don't know what
Sounds
the
like a system of a down.
By the way, they said they don't have the link yet from you.
And they're gonna get it very soon.
Why don't they have the link?
Because I'm waiting for it from the app team.
I thought they were putting it up today.
They are. It is going up today. I'm just waiting on the.
Gotcha. Well, when it goes up, we will tweet it out.
Not a second before.
Mhm.
Hey, can I
How could
just
we?
give out a special congratulations to my ex, Katy Perry. She's pregnant.
Yes.
And she says it's not mine, so whew. But who's she pregnant by?
She's pregnant by Orlando Bloom.
Can I just say something? This won't last. That Orlando Bloom is a fucking dog from Dogtown.
Well, they are engaged to be wed, which
They
is
can
what
be
her
engaged. They can be wed. Ain't going to last, and it ain't Katy Perry's fault.
That's what the new song is about. And immediately when I heard it, I thought, well, we'll be hearing this at weddings for the next decade.
Oh, let me hear a little bit of it.
You love the hell out of me, and heaven's where we could be. I've stood on the
How pregnant she
edge of
is.
love, but never took the lead. And you took my armor off and did it delicately. And I let my guard
So you think this is going to be a wedding song?
Yeah.
Or a...
Wait till you hear the chorus is what I was trying to get to.
Thank God that you were man enough to come answer my mama's prayers. You asked the question, I said yes, but I'm scared. 'Cause I've never worn white, but I wanna get it right. Yeah, I really wanna try with you. No, I've never worn white, but I'm standing here tonight. 'Cause I really wanna say I do.
All right, can I just say this? Stop it for a second, Chris. My dream is to walk Earl down the aisle with this song playing.
Oh my God.
And hold on. It's Black Girl's wedding. Are you ready for this? Both of us are completely in white. And we make the turn with, I've never worn white. Yeah.
Oh my God. This is the Black Girl song.
Now, here's the fucking thing. I come in smoking a small cigar, right?
Yeah.
But guess what? That motherfucker is wet. So we're all fucking dusted up. You know what I mean? And we're coming in.
Sorry, is there
fucking
a bride
hard.
in the story?
Not necessarily. At this point, we still don't know.
Okay. We're all gathered here today. We're not sure why.
We get so whacked out, the fucking rest of it don't even matter. Was a never worn white. I'm gonna have that play at my third wedding. Earl, I'd be more than happy to give you away. I always thought I was going to give Fez away. That was the plan.
Oh, that would be so sweet.
Yeah. But, I mean, I guess the way we're going, I can probably just end up pushing him down the aisle. And holding on to his oxygen tank as I'm walking him along. That wasn't, seriously, it was a dream of mine. I thought, you know,
Yeah.
first gay wedding, and there I'd be. I'd be like the father of the bride.
Yeah. That'd be really nice.
Yeah. Maybe, Chris, I don't speak Spanish, but I'd love to come to your wedding.
No plans for a wedding.
I guess everybody's going to have a parrot on their fucking shoulder.
I don't think so.
But I've never worn white. I like a song that fits the destination.
Yeah. Like a life event where they're like, okay.
Look, for the past, well, we're coming up on 50 years. When the kids are going from kindergarten to first grade or 8th grade to 9th grade, those
Yeah.
graduations, the circle game.
Oh, yeah.
And the seasons They go round and round. Everybody knows that song's coming.
Yep.
All the parents, the grandparents are crying their
Oh yeah,
asses off.
you can't not.
Yeah. I always wanted to, when Earl got out of preschool, I wanted to walk him and pay his library fines. That's always.
Oh God.
Caught a dragonfly inside.
Stop! You're doing it on purpose. Stop!
I was
Seriously.
thinking of Juju.
I'm sensitive today.
I was full of thunder.
She's so innocent now, but won't stay that way.
She's not that innocent though.
And the seasons, they go round and round, and the pains of ponies go up
Alright, I got
and
another one for you. Green Day. I hope you had the time of your life.
Oh yeah, that is like I'm thinking every graduation probably.
Every graduation. I like to play it for deaths too.
Right? Yeah.
I feel like the drum set should be on fire with it.
Yeah.
Another turning point, a fork stuck in the road.
Remember the Seinfeld show played this?
Yeah.
Clip show?
And we did have the time of our lives. I know.
So make the best of this test and
Lane, George.
It's not
Even you, Kramer.
Who can forget Green Day? Hell.
unpredictable, but in the end,
Hey, Jerry, look at Rip.
Go, Jerry. Here I go.
You got another one of these songs?
Yeah, this is one that it was so apparent that what they were writing for, and that's the Black Eyed Peas, Tonight's Gonna Be a Good Night, where they literally yell Mazel Tov L'Chaim in it. And I was like, you wrote this for bat mitzvahs.
Yeah.
But it does get played at weddings, too.
I'll tell you this. Whatever you think of Black Eyed Peas, this brings people on the fucking floor.
Yeah, it does.
People get the fuck up on this song. Starts early.
It does, yeah.
No sense of song. Look how long this has been going on.
I know.
That tonight's gonna be a good night.
This is Earl's favorite song.
He
Earl
loves it.
reminds me of everybody in the Black Eyed
I
Peas.
know. You
Every
could
single
really
one.
fit in, I think.
Earl I am.
No, that's the only one that doesn't remind me. What do you got, Earl? Give me a song that is an occasion song.
For a wedding, this is a fairly new one. It is, and I hate the song passionately. Is "Perfect" by Ed Sheeran.
Oh, they love that
yeah.
Ed Sheeran. Ed Sheeran has sold more fucking records than the Beatles, Elvis. These are all put together. And more, his songbooks have sold more than the Bible.
Oh my God.
Darling, just dive right in. Follow my lead. Well, I found a girl.
Yeah. Every wedding.
Beautiful and sweet. Well, I never knew you were the someone waiting for me. 'Cause we were just kids when we fell in love.
It's almost a country song.
Yeah.
No wonder Earl loves this guy.
Hey, Scott in Colorado has one for us. Hey, Scott.
Hey guys, what's up? How about Closing Time from Semi-Sonic?
Now, it's used at bars.
That's
I
the
don't know
best.
if it's used on any other special occasions, but
Yeah.
we used to end our show with it in the old NEW days when we did like late nights. And I heard from a lot of insomniacs that they would cry during this song because they knew they were cut off from human.
Time to be lonely. I still really like this song.
Yeah, me too. The guy, the drummer for this band, wrote a book. It's a fucking great rock book because he said that they would do this opening for like two other, Maroon 5 or whoever.
Right.
And they were like, they would open and be like an empty stage. This is how people would time themselves for the third act. And it would be slowly filling up. and nobody paid any attention to him. And then they would end with this song, and the place would go crazy. And you're like, fuck. Like they started to hate their own hit song because they could do nothing that came close.
Closing time. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. I know who wants to take me home. I know who wants to take me
We got Hoagie Dom coming in. I wish we could have redone this as a Hoagie song.
Yeah. Is there any hoagie-related songs that you would only play in, say, a hoagie shop?
Well, you would be excited to know this. There's that Hoagie Festival going on this weekend.
Mhm.
At, Philadelphia's favorite sons are going to be there. And who doesn't love them? You know what I mean? And then you got Squeeze is also going to be playing in
Oh,
that
that's
show.
very cool.
Yeah, I was very surprised to hear it. Let's see if we get some details. I think it's called Hoagie.
It's Hoagie Nation. It's happening on Saturday, May 23rd.
And Hoagie Dom is going to be there?
Hoagie Dom will be the Hoagie correspondent at Hoagie Nation. He'll be at the Hoagie Pavilion giving out free Hoagie tastings.
Now, won't everybody have free Hoagie tastings wherever you
Yeah.
go?
And will he be wearing a bag on his head?
Hoagie Dom. Hoagie Dom is here right now.
Did you get Hoagie Dom done for the show?
Yeah, did you finish that?
And I didn't finish at the Wah Wah Hoagie song.
No.
No.
Okay.
Just play the Hoagie Dom parody that we just
What are
made
we
up.
waiting for? Why
They're
did
coming
we
in
bring
now.
people in?
I guess just sing the Hoagie Dogs.
How much do I owe us, by the way?
It's going to be 78, I believe. That was the I'll have the exact.
Well, that sounds pretty exact.
No, there's like some change there. Yay, there's
See you,
Hoagie Dom.
Good to see you.
You can follow Hoagie Dom on Instagram at Hoagie_Dom. The Lunar Inn in Philly is throwing a Hoagie and wine release party Friday, March 20th with a Hoagie menu collaboration from Hoagie Dom. And his children's book, Baby's First Hoagie, is available now on Amazon.com.
Love it. And Juju loves it too.
And you can go to HoagieDom.com to read his Hoagie rankings.
And you were out in L.A. for a while.
I was there a week after you guys.
What kind of life do you have that you're able to just go around and eat all this great food?
It's just a little mini vacation. I was destined to discover the whole mustard on Italian sandwiches in LA.
I made sure we got some sandwiches, house brought them in for Arthur Avenue. This is Tino's?
Tino's.
There's also one of the sandwiches I would have made sure we try. It's got mustard on it as well.
Excellent.
Mayonnaise and mustard together.
California style.
You grew up on this Arthur Avenue stuff, Husp?
Yeah. Probably about 15 years ago, I actually moved to Belmont Avenue, which is about 2 avenues over from Arthur Avenue.
Uh-huh.
And then about 2 years after, I found out I had diabetes, and I don't think they're separate.
Yeah, it had a lot to do with it.
Yeah. And,
How is your diabetes doing now?
got it under control. I've been,
Through medication?
Yes.
What kind of medication?
I'm on Januvia, Lantus, and metformin.
So you can't get an erection.
I get what I need.
Can you poop?
Just
though?
enough.
Yeah.
Just enough of an erection.
The problem is he does both at once.
All right, by the way, it looks like Vito set up these sandwiches. Then he stood back here like he's a soldier.
He's guarding
Hoagie Dom, no one has ever seen you before.
It's true.
And this is the time to wear a mask. You know what I mean? This is the perfect
Yeah.
time. But what are you going to do when you go to this Hoagie festival?
So I'm gonna be like an undercover Hoagie correspondent.
Nobody will know.
No, yeah. So it'll all be done through Instagram. You know, some behind the scenes footage. I'll have VIP access behind the scenes.
I
on
was
stage.
assuming that you were gonna be like in
Like wearing a full-on mask.
Yeah.
Luchador
What
mask.
are the
It might get too
sandwiches?
hot in
You
the
know
summer,
what kind
though.
we have here?
Yeah, I have everyone here.
I know, but I want to know what the first one is.
All right, the first one is going to be the Tino's combo.
All right, now this is the combo is
It's
what
Italian,
we would like an
probably.
Italian sandwich.
It's like an Italian, yes.
All right, both my staff is speaking off microphone.
Okay, so the Tino's combo: ham, salami, provolone, mortadella, lettuce, tomato, roasted peppers, oil, and balsamic.
See,
Now-
I like that mortadella.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When you take a look at it from here, the bread looks very nice.
It's, I'm part Italian, and I was always taught good bread can save a bad meal.
That's an interesting thing to say.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Hoagie Dom and I are far away from you on that.
Yeah.
We happen to believe it's about the bread.
All about the bread, yeah.
Oh, no, when we were in the waiting room.
Waiting room?
Outside in front.
Vito,
whatever
you
you call
didn't
it.
keep them away from each other in the lobby?
I knew it was him. He had a bag. I was like,
Yeah.
that's got to be the guy.
I went out there and they were already speaking.
Come on, Chris.
They were not to speak.
Come on, Fish.
Fish is out of his fucking
Yeah.
mind these days.
I hope that he has a
Now,
fish sandwich.
fish
By
is
the way,
on
you
dry
realize
land.
that neither one of us is Hoagie Dom.
I know.
He's the guy that we
Yeah.
have to get to. All right, so when we're looking at this sandwich, how close do you think it looks to what we would consider a hoagie?
See, I like to get a good couple huffs in of the bread. It smells legit.
does.
Now,
Does.
the only
It smells
handicap here is I didn't pick this up, right? So when I walk into a shop, I'm looking around. I want to see if the meats are fresh. There's slicers humming
see.
along.
Yeah.
But, this looks pretty quality. It's seeded bread.
I will tell you this. I don't know whether you're familiar with Arthur Avenue. A lot of people, if they go to the Yankees games, they go to Arthur Avenue. They go to the zoo, they go to Arthur Avenue. Some people are now calling it the true Little Italy. Okay? Not
Yeah.
that fucking fake Little Italy downtown. Right.
That's like Disney
This
almost.
is interesting.
So again, this is the Tino's combo: ham, salami, provolone, mortadella, lettuce, tomato, roasted peppers.
From
oil.
Tino's Deli on Arthur Avenue in the Bronx.
Everyone is taking a bite. See some.
The flavor doesn't jump at me. I'll say that.
Yeah, I want to say it's mild provolone.
Yeah.
It's a little muted.
Yeah, I know, like the sharp provolone, like you might get it at Tony Luke's or some down in Philly, where you can specify. They definitely don't do that there.
Why?
I don't know. Nobody might have asked.
Racism in any way or sexism?
I'm gonna take my bite.
Sounds like Bronx racism, Ron, to me.
I mean, you could buy the mild provolone, just let it hang in the shop for a couple years, and then it's aged. So
Right.
that's always an option.
Hoagie Dom, that makes perfect sense.
Right?
Yeah.
Save some money.
It seems they would do that at Tino's.
Vito, where'd you get that knife from?
Gets a nice sharp knife, right?
Look at that thing.
Yeah. That's from Pig Talk.
He got that from his mother, you know? I got it going. It's got the paw. The paw's caught. The hoof. The hoof. It's a sin, Ma. Will you good? Will you bring it back, okay? Now, is that another one of the Italians there, Vito?
That's the same one you guys just ate earlier.
That's a Tino's combo.
The answer then would be yes. I got to say, I don't think it has a Philly pop. No,
Yeah.
the bread's not bad. The bread is not bad.
Yeah, it needs a little bit more.
Well, what would be the
little more
difference?
spice from the meat?
Well, usually, like their special one that I usually get is they have the Godmother and the Godfather.
Right.
What's on that? Sharp?
No, the Godmother tends to be the sweeter peppers and the sweet sopressata.
Now, did you get those?
That was not on the order form.
No, why would instead of just order them, why wouldn't you say, hey, what do you normally get there? What's the special? You know what I mean? What's the good? This is what we got to ask at the end.
that's what
Where's
I'm
that
learning.
good?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's decent. Is it gonna stand up to like the top 10 down in South Philly? Maybe not, but I think
I think you're being a homer.
for the hero.
No, I don't think he is at all. I mean, one thing about him is...
He's tough, but he's fair. That's what I'll say about.
Now, here's the
Hoagie
thing. You know the difference between good and good, right? Now, this is a New York A. I'm not going to fucking lie to you about that. But if we're in Philly, I give you a C, maybe even a D minus.
Wow.
I think it's up there with Wawa, though.
Oh, come on.
That's what you're after.
It's better than Wawa. I'll give it that. The bread's better than Wawa.
What are you working on now?
This is the All-American.
The All-American is ham, turkey, roast beef, American cheese, lettuce, tomato, mayonnaise, mustard.
Cali style.
That's what that's.
Everybody likes a little
I'm calling it
mustard
Cali
on
style.
their turkey. Who wouldn't want that?
I would love some.
Look, you're doing it the right way now. You're giving it to Dom first. You want to plug the Dom
I
stuff?
appreciate
Of course, Hoagie Dom. You can follow him on Instagram at
Don't be angry about it. Just give it a
happy.
nice read.
Follow Hoagie Dom on Instagram at Hoagie_Dom. And the Lunar Inn in Philly's throwing a Hoagie and wine release party Friday, March 20th. The Hoagie menu collaboration from Hoagie Dom. And on Saturday, May 23rd, Hoagie Dom will be at the Hoagie Correspondent at Hoagie Nation at the Mann Center in Philly. featuring music from Hall & Oates, Squeeze, Kool and the Gang, and more. And Hoagie Dom will be at the Hoagie Pavilion giving out free Hoagie tastings. Ticketmaster.com for tickets.
Did you say Kool and the Gang?
Kool and the Gang.
Pretty good lineup there.
That's a nice lineup.
Pretty good lineup.
Keep them coming, Vito. What do you think of this?
So, I mean, obviously I
turkey?
prefer the Italian style a little bit
Right.
more than this. You know, American hoagie's not my thing, but it's okay. It's all right. Yellow American, I think, is
I think that's
funny.
the problem with the sandwich itself. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like, I feel like this is more like there's a time and a place for an American style hoagie. Like, it's almost like a comfort thing.
Right.
Where you're like, I need a bland sandwich right now.
And I love a
And
good.
it's comforting.
Yeah, I love a good turkey hoagie, but I would want to slather it with mayo, like literally be dunking it in mayo.
And you don't want to ever want mustard on it.
Not yellow.
That's too California for you.
Let's see. Yeah, it is a little bit. Is there mustard on this one? Yeah, a little bit.
Very light.
Very light.
Yeah, very light
Very
mustard.
light. Can barely taste it.
I guess they're trying to save a little money for themselves. What do we got now, Vito?
Now we're doing the Alessandra.
That's grilled chicken, broccoli rabe, fresh mozzarella.
Ooh. And you said they make their own mozzarella?
No,
Oh.
that was the other shop I was telling you
Gotcha.
about.
Okay.
What happened there? Couldn't get it
Since
from
I
there?
moved out to Bay Ridge,
Yeah.
I saw
Wait,
some.
now you're living in Bay Ridge?
Yeah.
How many places you on the run here?
Yeah, I spent most of my life in the Bronx, and now I'm in Bay Ridge. It happens. You do dumb things for love.
I mean, who you in love with?
Well, my girlfriend Diane, I moved in with her.
I had no idea.
Yeah, since September.
Wow. So you're definitely not gay.
Pretty sure.
Chris, that's $100 I owe you. You bet me. So you went all the way from Bay Ridge?
From
Oh my God.
second stop on the D train in the Bronx to
looking
the
at
last
here?
stop on the R in Brooklyn.
Yeah, that's a big change. Yeah.
And I still work up in Fordham, so every day I have
Oh my God.
an hour and 45-minute commute each way.
I was just going to say there's no way that's not 2 hours. Yeah.
You're gonna two things that happen. You're either gonna kill yourself or you're gonna get coronavirus.
That's a long time for
But
exposure.
you know what?
Yeah.
I'm glad Haas found love.
You know,
She's a nice girl too.
I was always the lonely guy on the show, and it was never outright said, but it was implied enough that I could read between the lines.
Yeah. You were a lonely guy.
Yeah. And my family always told me, I had way too high a standard and waiting for like my supermodel.
You lowered your standards and your happiness.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Oh, I didn't know where we're going.
Well, you met my ex.
Yes.
And she was a very attractive girl and had the mental illness to go along with it. And it was way too much effort and way too
This was
crazy.
a supermodel?
She was a cute Dominican girl.
Yeah. Like Chris. How do you like this broccoli rabe?
Honestly, I think we're going kind of like on a slope here.
Yeah.
Like Italian was pretty good.
Right.
American, This is a little bit higher
Yeah.
than the American, but still, the chicken's like too charred. I'm tasting char.
Now,
I agree with you.
our friend Kathleen from the Bronx, she now lives down in Philly, but she raved about this place 7 years ago on her Yelp. Now I wonder how she'd feel that she's doing the Philly style food. You know?
Right. That's going to change you.
Yeah, it's going to change your taste buds.
I think before you experience it like that, I mean, you're excited to have a hoagie, but then when you have it at its peak, I think it kind
Right.
of ruins you. Like, you're always going to be chasing the dragon.
But I also, I always have been too. But I'm going to agree with you on the broccoli rabe. I was a little disappointed. It tasted like something that Haas would eat.
I've never ordered that sandwich before.
So something new for you.
This is a Jenny P.
What's the Jenny P? I mean, what the hell are we talking
The
about?
Jenny B is grilled chicken. Oh, no, just kidding. It's grilled chicken, fresh mozzarella, lettuce, tomato, roasted peppers, mayonnaise, oil, and vinegar.
Now, by the way, I probably would never order any of these sandwiches if there was an Italian available. I'm always
Right,
going to
exactly.
stick to Italian
Yeah.
first.
I'm doing Italian, and then I do like chicken cutlet Italian.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like the Italians know their way around this, but
We
till you
do.
get to Italy, then they get
But
confused.
that's kind of like when you're in Philly and someone's just like, oh, what about a chicken cheesesteak? And it's like, I'm not here enough to mess
Right.
around with that.
Yeah. Ishkables. Ishkables is the one with the good chicken cheesesteak, though, on South Street. But, yeah.
Not crazy about it.
Not crazy?
No. The Italian still.
Still reigning supreme.
It's the only one that I'm giving a letter grade to. It's either a low C or a high to low D. Now, Chris, here you are, a guy that's basically a garbage mouth. What do you think of this food?
Subpar outside of the Italian. I mean, I think...
Is that right?
I think the Sal, Chris, and Charlie's sandwich blows at least everything but the Italian out of the water.
But why didn't you have the balls to come in and bring that today?
I figured it was Haas bringing his sandwiches. I didn't want to overload with sandwiches. I can bring it next time.
Oh, gee.
If you're going to overload with anything, it's sandwiches.
Yeah, you should.
Well, I'm a dick because I have my own life that's not meeting his standards.
Oh, I love it, Haas.
Yeah.
Hey, go ahead, fucking let him have it.
You can't just watch a fucking Star Wars marathon another day of the week.
No.
They're all there in the cloud for you
But
to watch whenever you want.
I bought a ticket to this thing 3 months before you asked me to bring in sandwiches that day. And I'm a fan.
I think you're both right. In your own way, you're both right.
Thank you, Ron. I think I'm more right, though.
Vito, what are we going for now?
Next is the Monica.
So that's roast beef, fresh mozzarella, lettuce, tomato, onion, mayonnaise, whole wheat hero.
I think this one's going to surprise us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I have good feelings about
yeah,
the
me
Monica.
too.
Because you know what? I love Monica from Friends, so why wouldn't I like
Wait a minute, which one's Monica in there?
She's the one who's anal retentive
Oh.
and cooks.
No, she the one that married her brother? Vito, I noticed with your diet, you're not even trying this, right?
I did. I wanted to get you guys first, but I took a little piece there.
Put it aside for yourself?
Yeah, and I will try. But
You can have whatever of these extra things I spit out,
Okay.
But this is like a wine tasting.
Well, yeah,
where
what
I'm
was your
just
best
spitting it into
what was
a
your
bucket.
best sandwich in LA that you had?
Excuse me. Best sandwiches. So I really liked Langer's. It's a Jewish delicatessen. They have this sandwich called the number 19. It's like a pastrami, almost like a Reuben. Wax paper, which I just posted yesterday, had a really nice take on an Italian hoagie. Justa in Venice Beach had some really good sandwiches
Good.
too. Really good stuff.
See, he's not a homer, Hosp,
Yeah.
but he's an honest man.
And I like some stuff up in New York. When I release my top 25, there'll be a couple spots from New York.
Wow.
actually.
Maybe
So-
even this one, House. Maybe a picture. Let's
well,
get a picture.
it's not part of the top 10 compared to Philly, so it'll be
You're
low
right.
on the list.
Yeah,
I
it's
guess.
not going to be in the top 25. I'll spoil it right there.
And you can check those rankings out at hoagiedom.com, hoagiedom.com to read all of his hoagie rankings. Follow him on Instagram at hoagie_dom.
I'll be honest, Hosp. If we didn't start with the Italians, I'd be really against this place.
Yeah, it's like I
haven't
feel
had a
like
good one since.
the roast beef. There's a lack of salt. There's not enough
Good
salt
count. Yeah.
factor.
I think that's with all of them except for the
Yeah.
Italian.
Mm-hmm.
And no offense to you, I know you're not making the
Oh, no.
sandwiches.
And yet, you know, we wait an hour and a half to get this. I'm wondering, is Kathleen from the Bronx on the take?
Seems like there's payola here.
What
already
happened
up
to the
account.
old pro?
I don't know.
Payola.
Seems like the old pro. There's a hand in her pocket. And Tino's Deli just throwing her cash and bogeys.
This is very dry.
Very dry.
Well, it's the whole wheat roll, I think.
I was gonna say,
Is that what
Oh,
that
sure.
is? Is that why it's so terrible?
But why? I wonder. Did they think that was a good pairing?
Blame Monica.
I guess they thought that was a little diet for people,
Yeah,
you
a little
know? Go on a nice little diet.
Double the mayo and whole wheat bread.
Now what's going on, Vito? You just about done with this?
No, this is the Boca de Fici.
You make your ancestors proud.
That's hot sopressata, hot capicola, fresh mozzarella, and hot peppers.
See, this might have a little more flavor.
Mhm.
Yeah, this might have the kick we're looking for. All right, nothing for Chris.
Oh, come on. I got to get this roast beef out of my mouth.
That would be by swallowing.
All right, so now we're moving on. Hot sopressata, hot capicola, fresh mozzarella, and hot peppers.
See, I like the meats better on this, obviously.
Mhm.
But it's not like, it's just meat on bread, really, for this.
Yeah.
Which is fine. It's better than the other 4. It's
On
got
s-
some good spice.
On Saturday, May 23rd, Hoagie Dom will be the Hoagie correspondent at Hoagie Nation at the Mann Center in Philly, featuring music from Hall Notes, Squeeze, Kool and the Gang, and more. And Hoagie Dom will be at the Hoagie Pavilion there, giving out free Hoagie tastings. Ticketmaster.com for tickets.
And that is the final sandwich.
I like this one. I'm
I'm gonna
like,
put it as my number 2.
Uh-huh, me too.
It's a close number to the Italian.
See, the next time I will bring the Godmother and the Godfather.
Well, I wish you would have brought them this time.
Well, I had my.
You could have also said, get the Godfather and the Godmother.
I mean, you guys would have had to have a conversation, not fucking emails, though, Chris. That's the thing.
That is the thing.
You would have said, House, are we getting the right sandwiches?
Yeah. I did not ask House
I
that.
can't understand him. It seems like he's got a mouthful of sandwich.
It's like this.
Who would be doing that right now?
Fish.
Fish.
Do you get him a fish sandwich?
Which one do you order, though, when you go?
Usually I get the Godmother.
Okay.
It has the fried eggplant, the sopressata, provolone, the peppers, and the
What's that
balsamic.
set you back?
It's probably the same, about $10, $11.
$10, $11 a piece, or $10, $11 for all these sandwiches?
A piece.
Because I'm going to give you 8 for all these sandwiches. I don't know. I was very surprised. But I will say this. The bread's not bad. They've done a good job with the bread.
Yeah,
Everything
and-
else is presentation. It's taste.
And I don't believe they cut it all the way through. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
the hero, they'll slice it all the way through. This
Right.
is
Right.
done hoagie style. Not that makes a big difference with taste, but from
But
an aesthetic standpoint,
I
and
agree
falling
for-
out of the bread.
Yeah.
I like it. I think that this one is second for me.
Yeah.
Because probably it actually has flavor.
It does.
But
Has
I
a
think
little
it's
spice.
interesting that you're like, it's kind of just meat on bread, but that's because of the condiments didn't meld in.
Yeah.
And it's also the definition of a sandwich.
Vito,
Beats.
our friends over there, what's somebody that took care of us before? Give her a little sandwich stuff, because I know she's a big eater. Well, I got to say this, House. This is the Arthur Avenue place, right?
Yeah.
This is the #1 place.
Yeah, when Yankee Stadium first opened, they were part of the food court with all the local
Yeah.
food businesses, and the only other one there might be is in the market on Arthur Avenue. I always
What's going on? You haven't
can't
seen
remember
him
the
over
name.
there?
Got the sweats.
I mean, it's like Joe
Meat
Biden
sweats,
said here.
you know. But it's
Joe Biden.
Well, what's that?
That's the Italian.
Why, you're going to give her the Italian and not some of these others? You know what I mean? She's not that good for us. I mean, it's one way for Thanksgiving. What is going on, Vito?
Well, there's still some Italian left. I was going to give her.
What do you got some for yourself?
I took a little piece for myself.
No, he doesn't eat much.
Mm-hmm. He's like a little baby bird.
But why is it all the Italian when we were just saying that's the best?
Do you guys want more Italian?
What are you talking about over there? We're trying to get. What are we taking care of her with?
I'm
Is she
gonna
back
give her-
in?
I'm going to give her.
Does she know it's coming?
No, she doesn't know it's coming.
All right.
Is she gonna be shocked?
Is she going to think it's from you or it's from us?
I'm going to say it's from you guys.
Forget about it. No, go ahead. Take it over to her.
Now, if I were to give, so typically I give like a score, a rating,
Yeah.
0 through 5 breadsticks or bread rolls, hoagie
Right.
rolls. I'd probably give this overall, and I like to try all of the different sandwiches to kind of have that collective rating. Probably give it 3.7 out of 5.
Wow, that's high for you.
Oh, it's not bad.
Yeah.
well, you know,
A 3.7
still not
out of
Philly
5.
standard, but
I'd give it a 1.6. And I'm not even
Out of
making
10?
that up. Yeah, out of 10. I give it a 1.6.
And the whole 1 point was just bread.
Right. I gave him an extra half point because they're able to do this in the Bronx and nowhere else. Look, now she's looking inside going, what is going on? Yeah, I'll just give you a wave. Hey. Where's Vito? Why isn't he giving it? Now she's looking in the window begging instead of just...
I don't know where Vito is. Yeah,
I think she's coming to say thank you.
Yeah.
That's what you would say. No, maybe not. I don't know what she's doing.
He's a fucking idiot.
I don't know why he wouldn't just give it to her.
He's
You
out there eating
should know why. He works for you.
I think
Fish.
Come on, Fish. Get the school in line, Fish.
we actually need a break one more time before the end of the show.
Bennington, we'll be right back.
Faction Talk 103, it's the Bennington Show. Bennington is back, and this is Faction Talk 103. It's the Bennington Show.
Welcome back to Bennington. Hoagie Dom and Hosper in studio.
What's up?
You can follow Hoagie Dom on Instagram at Hoagie_Dom. And the Lunar Inn in Philly is throwing a Hoagie and wine release party Friday, March 20th with a Hoagie menu collaboration from Hoagie Dom. And on Saturday, May 23rd, Hoagie Dom will be the Hoagie correspondent at Hoagie Nation at the Mann Center in Philly. And Hoagie Dom will be at the Hoagie Pavilion giving out free Hoagie tastings. Ticketmaster.com for tickets and HoagieDom.com to read his Hoagie rankings.
Now, the next time you come up, we're going to have some Sal, Chris, and Charlie's.
Yes.
Chris has already lost once against what?
A&F Deli, which
Yeah.
is bullshit.
You might appreciate the A&F Deli. They do better with a couple of the other shows here. But I wouldn't even mind me and you taking in some hoagies to Big J, who is from Philly.
He's a Philly guy.
But he's such white trash that he's just completely Wawa. 100% Wawa.
He doesn't have he doesn't go, oh, this is my hoagie.
No, they're happy with Wawa. And I see him the other night. He goes, why don't you take one of these? He's got a Wawa soft pretzel for me. I go, no thanks, Jay. He's like, you don't want a soft pretzel from Wawa? I go, no, Jay, I don't.
Their soft pretzels are completely different than the regular soft pretzels.
Yeah,
They're
they
like
are.
sweet almost.
I mean, I don't understand, but I can't let him feel good about this. Now, I will say that he's a big fan of the Eagles. You know, he's a big fan of the 76ers.
Loves them.
Doesn't really follow hockey or baseball. So I consider him half of a Philly guy at best.
Just need to get him to come around on the sandwiches, the real style.
He doesn't, I mean, you don't know how poorly he was raised. I mean, seriously. Hosp, you ever get back to the Bronx to visit your family, or is it just Bay Ridge?
Well, no, I was the last one in the Bronx, and
Oh, is that right?
yeah, my mom and younger sister are in Arizona, and my older sister's up in Fishkill.
You believe that, Chris?
I can't believe it.
Chris is all alone in the world. Doesn't have a living relative.
Not one.
Not a
Not one.
living. It's called a Edling, is the name of it.
The last Stanley.
And you might even be the first because your dad changed his name so many times.
Good point.
Earl, did you ever come up with Vito?
No, not yet.
This is troubling now.
I'm actually worried about him.
Yeah, he might have fallen into a black hole. Maybe because he hasn't had bread in so long. It went right through
Yeah, he
him.
got too lightheaded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Needs the carbs.
And he doesn't even have his phone on him?
No, his phone isn't on him.
That's
I
not
went to the
like
office.
him. You don't think he's been struck, do you, with the coronavirus?
Could be at this point.
It's just like that, like lightning.
Mhm.
in
Yeah.
the sky.
I tell you, I went out last night. The streets, they were empty.
Mhm.
New York City, I was in Times Square all by myself.
Like
12
Vanilla
o'clock at
Sky.
night. It was
You were
like
just
Vanilla
running-
Sky.
running
I was
through.
just running and screaming. And then later I jumped off a building, but I was okay. I'm sure we won't see you after today. This is the end.
Thought I had more value than delivery boy. I don't know.
You know, you see that, Chris? You don't get along well with people that he considers themselves a delivery boy, rather than this is a segment that he's part of.
I understand that. It's,
Do you? Because your fucking producer took off and hasn't come back.
That I don't know how to contact him.
The
I
only
would.
reason he would do that is because he has no respect for Chris.
By the way,
right?
this is work hours. This isn't like, oh, it's 7 o'clock. Oh,
there he
I
is.
just saw him. Send him over here. Earl,
him in.
run him in here. No, I don't want him on your mic. I don't want him on your mic.
Got his phone.
I'm looking forward to Sal, Chris, and Charlie's. That
Yeah,
place
you
looks
should.
good.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah, I've heard there's better.
Not this fucking place.
Haas might even be onto some. What the fuck did you do?
What happened?
I went down to Tracy's office.
Why? She was right next to you.
No, she wasn't. She left and went down.
Dude, we saw her after you left.
I spoke to her, then she wasn't there anymore, and then I went downstairs. I went to her office. I spoke to her downstairs.
But by the way, she thinks she got that because she begged in the window instead of we thought of her.
Oh, I told her we thought of her. I said we got these from Arthur Avenue shoes.
She's never going to believe.
She is. Trust me.
I don't know.
No. The last thing I trust is you. You left without your phone.
I did.
The LA guy that I was in love with is dead.
Well, I left without my phone because I wanted to get the job done, and I
The
did.
job done, she was right next to you.
But
Could have handed
worked-
it to her.
I think it worked out in an even better way because somebody else saw it, and I was like,
Who's somebody else?
Somebody that shares an office with her saw it. I said, well, she hooks us up, so.
Now it's like a tit for tat rather than I just wanted to be tit. You know what I mean?
Just bare tit.
I wanted to give her some
Big ol'
tit,
tit.
not tit for tat. Well, she does for us, so we do for her. No.
She wasn't there when I said
mean-
that part.
Well, then why is that a good positive thing?
It's to motivate somebody else.
Oh my God, he's out of his mind.
I feel
Plant
like,
the seed.
I feel like I've fucked up, and I'm just gonna walk outside.
Good job, man.
That's what you already did. That's how you fucked up.
He just keeps walking to California.
It's unbelievable. Go ahead and plug again, Christopher.
Hoagie Dom. You can follow him on Instagram
By the way, his stuff is so delicious. I don't see how Earl's food comes out, but Hoagie Dom kills with his pictures. Kills.
Yeah.
I try.
I mean, I'm starving when I look at those
It's
pictures.
because I really have a passion and love for the subject.
Look at that, how
you know?
delicious this
looks
looks.
beautiful.
good.
I really try. Thank you.
Everything here looks
I mean, where's
better
that,
than
portrait
Husk's
mode?
favorite place.
Yeah, that's it's a mix of portrait mode. I don't like going too far in portrait mode. It kind of blurs too much, but it's a Google Pixel, which I find to be the superior phone to Apple.
Nice.
So.
Android.
Chris, not the same pictures. Look around. See some of the
Yeah,
other
there's one I made. So I'm starting to make stuff in
Ooh.
my Hoagie Dojo,
That
which
looks
is where I
nice.
practice the art of hoagie making. By
By the way, that's mayo? That's how much mayo?
That's burrata.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
I
burrata
know
and
you get crazy with
the big white stuff is burrata, but there is a house dressing mixed with a pesto that I made too. And normally I make them all on Sarcone's bread, which is the best.
Your thought eventually is to open up a place? Is that where your head is?
I don't know. I might do I'm doing this menu collab at the Lunar Inn, Lunar's Hoagie House. So that's, I guess, a first baby step. You gotta crawl before you walk, before you run, type of thing. Maybe I'll do a pop up one day this year.
There was this guy in North Jersey. He was making bagels in his house. Everybody's like, "This is great. You should open up a place." He finally gets around, opens up a place. In the first 3 days, he sells out of he doesn't have anything to keep his store open. That's how they swarmed him. A place that grew up on bagels.
Yeah.
See, that's
Here's
nice.
another thing I like to do.
Yes.
Get a hold of Deb and see if we get those sloppy joes the next time.
Gotcha. Those are the one from North Jersey?
Yeah, North Jersey.
What was it called again?
I don't know the name of the place.
I remember
but
we brought it up.
Yeah, they're very, very delicious, very unique to that neighborhood.
I've never had a sandwich like it. I mean, it's
Yeah.
very.
You don't need to have pictures of it. We'll just
find the name.
We're gonna do it soon.
Earl sent us over some pictures.
How they look?
Let's see. What do you think?
That's not bad.
That's pretty good.
Earl's
No,
got,
I'll be
Earl's
honest.
got some of the eye.
You know, he is. He's an amateur photographer, but these pictures look like he took them with his ass cheek.
Epps Essen is the deli in Livingston.
That's the spot, yeah.
Epps Essen.
You're very in love now, Husp? Marriage in love?
I don't know.
Well, you
We're-
live together, right?
Yeah.
But not worth marrying.
I think both of us being, I'm turning 45 next week. She already has her 21-year-old son. It's like, our value as a married couple really isn't much.
I see.
Yeah.
Does he call you dad?
No.
Do you make him watch you making love with your wife? You say you sit in here and take your shirt off, watch what we do. Because that would be weird. I'm going to be totally honest with you.
I don't want to
I would
judge
be
you.
It's a little
really
bit of that, from what I've learned
Tit for
about people
tat.
at Bay Ridge, it's
Yeah.
would be par for the course with them.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
So it's on the table. Is what you're saying? It's on the
It's
table.
not off the table.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's on, though.
The Bay Ridge boys. It's a whole different
I
scene.
can't believe Hosp is a Bay Ridge boy, though.
Oh, I know. Too bad the 2001 disco wasn't there anymore. That was the big Bay Ridge thing from Saturday Night Fever.
All right.
Chris, you never saw that movie?
Of course I did. Yeah.
Chris never watches a movie all the way. He never watches it all the way through.
He reads
gets
the
so
Wikipedia.
tired.
I do. I do that a lot of time. I'll turn a movie off because I think it's moving too slowly.
Do you know how many times I've said to Chris, "Hey, did you see that movie that just came out?" And he goes, "No, but I read the Wikipedia."
You know
I'm like,
what?
I'm not going to continue this conversation. It's over.
I'll tell you what happens.
It's like the
I
clip
can't.
notes.
I can't believe that Hoagie Dum had to take a train for. No offense to you, Haas. This shitty assortment of shit sandwiches.
If your producer would have asked me, I would have said the ones I would order myself and prefer.
It was a dialogue. It was a back
Where
and
was it?
forth
I
What's
send
the
you them-
dialogue?
via email. People had
You-
dialogues
how-
over email all the time.
Do I beg you not to use email when
Yeah.
you're discussing things with people?
Yes, you do.
And what do you say every time?
I believe I
Yes,
say never
Daddy, I'll
happen
never
again.
do it again, he says.
Don't call me daddy. As much as I like hearing it. Because then I think you'd like to sit with your shirt off
But I can send you my bill for the train.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
I'll DM it to you.
We'll be in touch, Coach. You got to take me around the Italian market some.
That's fair.
You might end up You might end up killing yourself. I'm so happy.
So good. This
Well,
is the last day
Yeah.
of life.
Sometimes it might be worth it, you know.
Hey, have you seen that new TV show that takes place down there?
No, I heard you talking about it
Yeah.
with Jason
Segel or whatever? Yeah.
Segel, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Have you seen it
we'll
yet,
check
Chris?
out.
I've not, no.
Nobody meet me halfway on this. It's a lot of nice just felly shots. I don't know if I haven't paid attention
What's
to the
the
plot yet.
premise? Is it?
It's like, is this thing going on a game? Is it reality? Is it government cover up? It's almost like a constant running around Philly. But the great thing is, there's a lot of Philly showing up in this show, particularly a lot of Fishtown.
Gotcha.
I know that's your favorite place.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
No, I saw them filming it in Rittenhouse.
Yeah.
And, I kind of was watching a little bit. And I
Yeah.
yelled,
Gidget's in it. The
Yeah.
Flying Nun.
Yeah.
She's all part of it. What's that for, Chris?
Coming to the end of the show, Ron.
All right. Do you want to give us another little plug?
I would love to plug Hoagie Dom. You can follow him on Instagram at Hoagie_Dom. The Lunar Inn in Philly is throwing a Hoagie and wine release party Friday, March 20th with a Hoagie collaboration from Hoagie Dom. And on Saturday, May 23rd, Hoagie Dom will be the Hoagie correspondent at Hoagie Nation at the Mann Center in Philly, featuring music from Hall Notes, Squeeze, Kool and the Gang, and more. And Hoagie Dom will be at the Hoagie Pavilion there, giving out free Hoagie tastings. Go to Ticketmaster.com for tickets. And his children's book, Baby's First Hoagie, is available now on Amazon.com. And go to HoagieDom.com to read all of his Hoagie rankings.
And Hans, I apologize. I didn't know Chris didn't talk to you, and you would have had the best sandwiches. I had no idea that.
I blame Chris.
Yeah. What's that? Yeah. I mean, there's anyone to blame for today's disaster.
It's me.
And it is a disaster.
It's Fish.
It's Chris Stanley.
It's all fish.
Chris Fish.
All right. That's